Opie is here, and his show starts now.
I love that fucking song, Craig Gass.
That's a great song.
And I do believe that might be my favorite Metallica song.
You seen him live?
Oh,
right?
my God. We saw him at the Apollo.
Oh, that's right.
Sirius XM had him at the Apollo, and it was the loudest thing I've ever been part of.
I wish I could.
I've told a story where I was standing next to Anthony. We had earbuds in or whatever, and Ant taps me. He goes, you got to take one out, just to see how ridiculous this is. And I took one of them out. It was like, holy crap, I've never heard anything louder in my life. And when you talk about like deaf people and how they could feel the music, I could feel Metallica vibrating in my bones at the Apollo that night.
The bass and the drums. Yeah.
I've never had that experience before where I could actually feel my bones just vibrating because of music.
They're just a monstrous machine. And
do you like Metallica?
I love Metallica.
What's your favorite Metallica song?
It's too hard to... That's too hard.
I know. That's why when I said Wherever I May Roam, maybe I was jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah, there's some great grooves on Injustice for All. There's times when I hear tracks and they freaked me out the first time I heard them. I remember getting high with a buddy who we'd always leave at lunchtime to go do bongs behind this movie theater. And he had this great stereo in his car. And I remember him saying, there's this new band, Metallica. And I was like, all right, put it on. And he put on Battery.
Holy crap.
And cranked it. And that went completely against my high. And I remember going, turn it down! Turn it down! It's too much! It was just too...
You couldn't handle it?
It was too aggressive.
How old were you?
14.
Okay, all right.
15.
14,
it was
15,
just...
okay.
It was intense. And
you were already doing cocaine at 14, so...
I started shortly after. And then the first time I did meth, I was 15, and the first time I did meth was also the first time I heard Slayer, and it was also the first time I ever worked out. There was this really buff drug addict at my school who was like, he goes, "Hey man, you ever work out, man? Dude, you got some good, like, you could get fit, man. You want to work out, man?" I was like, "Yeah, I've always wanted to." And he goes, "Come over to my house, dude. We'll work out together." And I get to his place. He's like, "All right, man. Hey, you ever do meth?" And I go, "No, I never done meth." He goes, "Oh, dude, just take it slow, man, because it'll burn your nose. And you'll start crying and stuff. But yeah, just try some meth." And I snort some meth. And he's like, "You ever listen to Slayer, dude?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh, we'll put on Slayer, and then come on, we'll work out." And I'm hearing this, and I'm like, it was too overwhelming. And anytime I do an impression of that guy from Slayer, Tom Araya, I always sound like the chef from the Muppet Show. Yeah, but it was overwhelming. But Metallica, man, they are, I mean...
I didn't know much about Metallica until I was in Buffalo. Well, pretty much right around when the Black Album came out is when I know it's lame to say, especially being a music jock for so many years, but they just didn't play Metallica on a lot of radio stations until the Black Album hit. They played one, I guess, on a few, but not many. And then the Black Album, made them way mainstream for everybody else.
Yeah, that's what was crazy. They started headlining arenas on that Injustice for All tour.
Right.
And they were not getting any airplay at all. And it was One. One came out, and One got their first video.
Yeah, it was on MTV.
On MTV, and I remember Kirk Hammett saying that he liked that someone on MTV rolled the video and then came back. It was part of a countdown, and he went... Wow. Okay. Well, the next one, he was so depressed watching the video, and he loved that reaction of just going, well, that doesn't fit into what we're doing here.
Well, I like, I discovered Metallica with the Black Album, most likely, like I said, and then it's always cool when you do discover a band and realize you're late. And there's so much other music they actually put out before you jumped on board. So I was able to go back and check out some of the older stuff. I
felt guilty because I hated Pearl Jam when they first came out because they killed all my bands. Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and Soundgarden took all my bands off the radio.
And your bands were what? Motley Crue, Skid
Row,
Row, Warrant.
Metallica. Yeah, I loved all. You know what? I loved Warrant. I loved Slayer. I liked Journey. I like going to concerts. I love going to concerts. Yeah. And this new wave of music from Seattle killed everything.
Right.
And then on the second Pearl Jam album, it was going to a concert at the Gorge. And in between Ugly Kid Joe and Def Leppard, they played Oceans.
Wow.
As part of the intermission music in this amazing concert venue. Arguably the nicest concert venue in the country. Better than Red Rocks. It's just an amazing place to see shows. And I converted, and it was embarrassing, but I got on the bandwagon. But there's some bands. I saw Guns N' Roses 2 days after Appetite came out.
Wow.
In a bar in Tucson called the Tucson Gardens that held, I think it held 800 people. There was probably 100 or 200 people there.
And it was 2 days after Appetite for Destruction was released?
Yeah, I picked up Hit Parader magazine, and I was waiting. I would camp out for every concert. That was the thing, is to camp out and get your tickets at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning when the box office opened. And I would get my heavy metal magazines. Yeah. And I was reading Hit Parader magazine, and there was a listing of new up-and-coming bands. I remember one of them was a band called Love Hate. Another band was called the Sleazebees, and then there was a band called Guns N' Roses. And every band at that time, this is like the height of glam bands. Sure. Poison and Motley Crue is Girls, Girls, Girls. Yeah. And this band, Guns N' Roses, were disturbing. They looked like, everyone said, listen, we might look like a bunch of girls, but we'll kick your fucking ass. Sure. And they all had this attitude of like, this is our image, but we're badasses.
And how embarrassing is it to be get your ass kicked as someone's wearing high heels?
Yeah. And there's this band that really looks like a bunch of criminals. These 5 guys. There's like a biker-looking dude.
A true Motley Crue.
Yeah. Hey. And these guys are just, and how the fuck do these 5 guys know each other? There's one guy who looks like a mod guy. There's like a real rock star looking guy on drums, but the singer looks like a biker. And then there's some weird guy with hair. and
can't see his eyes. Yeah. He's wearing a goofy hat.
And I remember going through the magazine and reading all the articles, but I kept flipping back to that page just to look at them because they just looked so weird.
Very different than what was going on with everybody else.
And Appetite came out. I bought the tape because I knew they were coming to town in 2 days. And I listened to it over and over again and just flipped the cassette back and forth. And I went to go see them live. And I remember, I mean, it's easy to say now, but I remember at the time telling friends, these guys are going to be like the Rolling Stones.
No, they were one of those bands when they hit, everyone just knew. I was living with a bunch of guys in Rochester, and one of the guys I lived with, Erock, I remember to this day, he had that album mailed to him by someone going, you got to check out this new band, Guns N' Roses. And then I remember he kind of presented to us in the living room where, you're just hanging and partying and watching goofy shit. He's like, we got to check this out, man. My friend is saying this is going to be the next big thing. And we put it on, and I remember we loved it instantly. Went, what the fuck is this? This is so fucking cool compared to everything else that's going on. Yeah, and so different, I should say.
Yeah, there was this song, My Michelle.
I love My Michelle.
Wow.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah, and oh man, I want to tell you a story and I can't.
Why?
Honestly,
that's the good stuff.
Honestly, there's a legal ramification to it, and I have to wait for something to play itself out. And I have one of the greatest stories to tell you, but I really have to wait for something legally to play out.
And it revolves around My Michelle?
It revolves around the band Guns N' Roses.
Oh my God.
When I was a kid, when I was 16, I have pictures that would blow your fucking mind.
You were hanging with Guns N' Roses?
I met Steven Adler at this thing called the NAMM show. And Steven was super. No, I think I was 17. I remember my 18th birthday party. I had Steven and Slash. I have pictures of my 18th birthday party with Steven, Slash, and Duff. Yeah, and a bunch of girls. And but Steven at the NAMM show. I said, man, I saw you guys play at Tucson Gardens. Right. They weren't big yet. Yeah. And he goes, do you got a car? And I go, yeah. And he goes, can you give me a ride to Hollywood? And I go, sure. And then gave him a ride to Hollywood, back to his place from Anaheim all the way up to Hollywood. And he said, hey, if you guys want to come to band rehearsal, come to band. We got a rehearsal space down here in Hollywood. And I hung out with them over there. And every time Guns N' Roses would come through Arizona, I would hook up with Steven and hang out. I was a kid.
So where's the story?
I'll
tell you. You guys got in some problems. You had some problems.
There was a problem that happened, but then and it got written about in a couple books. Right. And then
is it still being worked out?
It's still being worked out, and I haven't been identified. But I have all the pictures from that night. I'll tell you.
How much longer do we have to wait?
I'm scared to death of the story, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. It really. And I'll tell you. But there's pictures. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see. I never identify who people are in my pictures. I'll just say, hey, here's me looking like a guy from Poison, and you'll see in the comments people will go, who's that Axl Rose looking guy? And I won't even.
It's actually Axl Rose.
Yeah. I won't even say.
All right, you're teasing
Chaz. Holy shit!
Yeah, Chaz just walks in the middle of that. What's up, Chaz?
What's happening, man?
How are you,
sir? I'm Craig.
That's Craig Gass.
I'm a comedian. I'm usually funny.
I haven't seen you in a few years, my friend.
Yes. yes.
But you're bringing A Bronx Tale back around?
It's a big hit on Broadway now.
I saw it 8 years ago.
Yeah, well, you saw the one-man show. This is the musical.
Oh, so it's all.
This is the musical. This is Bob De Niro and Jerry Zaks directed.
Right.
Alan Menken did the music. It's great. I'm not in it. I just produced and wrote it.
You just get to sit back and collect the checks, my friend.
Baby.
Wow. He goes, that's right, baby.
That's right.
Wow. Well, I mean, about 8 years ago, the one-man show was on Broadway. And
that's actually about 10 years ago.
We're talking 10 years now for that? Are you kidding me?
207. Well, 9 years ago.
Okay, and we got to go, and it was the one-man show was amazing, so I can't wait to see the full production now.
Yeah, the musical is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Times gave us a critic's pick, and it's just doing amazing.
Right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Chaz showed up at my wedding 8 years ago. I don't know if you remember,
Yeah.
but really, I was down in Philly getting married at the Ritz-Carlton. And
when you say showed up, did you invite him?
I would have, but
I
he
happened to be there.
He happened to be there, and then all of a sudden he realized I was getting married, and you did the show a few times, and we kind of hit it off a little bit. He was nice enough to come in and, give the crowd a few minutes, man. Everyone was freaking out that Chaz was there.
Yeah.
And then I looked like a rock star because everyone thought I invited him, and he stopped by. I just lucked out because he was in the same hotel.
I feel like Chaz is one of those guys that people feel like they can relate to because, and they feel like they're on his level. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
That people come up and they say, hey,
Absolutely.
Very approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well,
I like
think
that.
It's, I've always been that way, always, all my life. Yeah, I've been this way when I was not successful and not famous, and I'm the same way now.
Yeah.
So do people pitch ideas for you
Constantly.
that are not actors, have never done any acting work, but they just feel like because you're such a regular guy, that what's the dumbest idea that's ever been pitched to you?
Well, they pitch things, but I always say, look, don't tell me anything, please. I don't want to know. God bless,
All of a sudden he's not approachable. He's like, beat it.
No. Only because of the lawyer always tells you, for liability reasons, if they give you something and you take it. And I have 4 things in development, so who knows, so I don't.
I've heard those stories over the years.
Don't take anything. Don't take anything.
You get sued because a guy gave you an idea that was maybe slightly like the
Are you
one
kidding? I still got people saying, hey, Bronx Tale was my idea.
Oh, all right. So you're hearing it.
This is like...
No. They say it's there.
How can they say it's their idea?
Because people go, I grew up in a neighborhood, I had these guys, I was writing some... people are crazy.
That's the problem with being relatable.
I was going to say, that's why it's such a great thing, because people can relate to that. They feel like that. They lived in that neighborhood.
That's why it's a hit right now on Broadway, because people understand, they go, you know what, I grew up in a neighborhood. But the amazing thing about it is people who were never in the Bronx love it.
Right.
Who were never in the Bronx. It's a huge hit in Japan, the movie. In Japan, weird. You figure that out. I have no idea.
That one's strange.
That's strange, absolutely. Japan, when people from Japan see me, they go crazy. And it's because of what Bronx Tale does. And you got to see, they're buying tickets to see the Broadway show. It's amazing. The thing about Bronx Tale is that people from 14 years old, who were not even born, to like in their 80s, they see it over and over again.
Yeah. I think it brings them back to a different time too.
Yeah,
I was talking to my wife about how neighborhoods have just drastically
You're absolutely
changed.
right.
Except hers hasn't, because she's from Northeast Philly, and they still have that vibe where people are born and they die in the same neighborhood. When they leave their parents' house, they get a house around the corner. That's still going on down there. And I told my wife that's how it used to be, obviously everywhere. And it's not the case. Certainly where I'm from, I'm from Long Island. You leave your parents' house and you're done. You're out. You don't stay in the neighborhood.
But that's why I think you're absolutely right. Why all these people come back and see it again and again, because it reminds them of what the way life was back then, about what a neighborhood was.
Right.
And it's an amazing thing. It's amazing.
I want to know why the Japanese like A Bronx Tale so much.
You know what?
No one has ever explained it to you.
They just love it. I mean, I see them. They'll stop me on the street. Oh, they go crazy. Bronx Tale.
Do they have their own version in Japan?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
But I mean, is it?
It's in Japanese, yes.
Who played the black girl?
No. It's
And the Bronx Tale version of the Japanese version.
No, it's the movie, but with
subtitles.
Somebody
okay.
overdubs you.
That's what I'm asking.
So it's very strange to see myself talking in Japanese.
Yeah.
But somebody
Is your
did.
voice? Were you happy with the voice, the
I was very
tone?
happy the way the guy did it. Yes, I was very happy. You know, it's funny, but A Bronx Tale just hits on all levels. You have to see. We have so many interracial couples coming to see the show, and the blacks love Bronx Tale.
Yeah, we do. We talk about it at the meetings.
I'm telling you.
That's one of our top I'm telling you.
Scarface and a Bronx Tale.
Do you
That's
know,
how we started
how
off.
many rap videos?
Yes.
If I tell you how many, you could tell, right?
Even the young lady from your movie was, I don't know how she was in the white community. In the black community, she was a superstar.
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 Terrell Hicks.
Yeah, Terrell Hicks.
That's exactly right.
I hung out with her a couple times in L.A. She's a cool girl.
Yeah.
Cool,
At the Laugh Factory.
really great girl. But I'm telling you, when the brothers see me, it's like I'm the number one gangster.
Yes.
I'm telling you. So we have like. I think that's why it's a hit show, because so many people love it, just love the movie, and they want to come and see
So
the
the
musical.
Japanese and the blacks love Chaz.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you,
I believe
you can't believe it. You know what? I did 60 movies. 60.
Wow.
And they still say, I love all your movies, but man, Bronx Tale. Man, Bronx.
Yeah.
60, and that's still the one.
Oh, that has to be your number one, no?
Do you ever
what would
get-
number two? What would the number two?
My
movie
boy
be?
Joseph D'Onofrio was
Usual
actually in the movie
Suspect.
too. He was in Bronx Tale.
Oh yeah, of course.
Usual Suspect.
My boy from Brooklyn, Joe D'Onofrio.
Yes.
He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We went to high school together for 2 years in
Right.
Lafayette. He was in the movie.
He was in the movie.
And we
That's
did
right.
Are We There Yet together on TBS.
Yeah.
It's a 1 degree of separation for me.
Even with 60 films and that much, that big of a body of work under your belt, do you still have people come up and they think they recognize you, and they think you're somebody else, and they call you by the wrong name?
You know what? That happened a couple of times to me. Not so much now. Some years ago, some people thought I was, and he got the same thing from me. Joe Mantegna.
Joe Mantegna, really?
Joe Mantegna
Really?
said they thought, and we Joe and I really don't look at, but we're Italian, we're tall, so
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's what.
That happens. I remember sitting next to Dave Navarro at a concert right before
Yeah.
a concert started, and 3 different people in a 5-minute period walked by and said, "Dave Grohl, love you," and he went, "Good to see you." Like he didn't even correct him.
He
He
just-
didn't even
he just gave up.
Gave him a thumbs
Yeah,
up.
stuff
give him a
happens.
thumbs up.
You don't want to make them feel bad. You just feel great.
Yeah.
I get Denzel a lot. They always think I'm Denzel Washington.
Nice. Handsome.
Yeah, they think I'm Denzel Washington
I
on the
could see
street.
that.
You see that? Thank you.
Handsome,
bit.
handsome man,
appreciate that.
handsome man.
Chaz, you ever do a movie and you knew going into it was just a pile of shit?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I love when actors are honest about this. Michael Madsen, it's one of my favorite things. He came in here one day and we went over all his movies and he explained why he did certain movies. He's like, I owe child support, my mortgage,
Yeah.
my marriage was breaking up, and that's why he took a lot of these movies.
Yeah.
And he knew they were shit going into
You'll be
it.
surprised what you'll do when you really, now I got offered to do a commercial maybe 12 years ago, and I'm an actor. I'm from the actor studio. We don't do commercials. We just don't do them. But it was Coca-Cola, and I said I thought it was a voiceover. So I told my agent, I said, yeah, I'm interested. Yeah. They said, no, Chaz, this is on camera, and I said, no. They said, Chaz, it's Coke. It's Coca-Cola. You can do it. I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm a serious actor. I don't do commercials. They said, well, you better look at the script. I said, I told you I won't do it. They said, they're going to give you this amount of money. And I said, all right, let me look at the script. Let me read it. So they sent me the script, and I'm looking at it, and it was really good. It actually was with Simon Cowell. And he wasn't really, he was just coming up back then, Simon. And I said, I don't know. And I still kept saying, I don't know. And finally, the president of Coca-Cola wanted me so bad, because I didn't answer him back like in 2 days, because I was really thinking about it. He said, you tell him if he does 2 commercials, I'll double it.
Wow.
And I went, my wife said, I will divorce you if you don't do it. So I did it. But it was so stupid. I was so stupid not to do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.
I don't really remember the Coke commercials. You were happy with how they came out in the end?
Yeah. It was great.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
How's that restaurant going? I know you got that restaurant on Second Avenue over there.
Thank you for bringing that up.
What restaurant?
What restaurant?
My restaurant is,
you kidding me?
is the hottest #1 restaurant in New York. It's called Chaz Palminteri's Restaurante.
Well, you're putting Palms out of business.
I'm telling you, man.
It's a great restaurant.
Well, when am I getting invited, Chaz?
I'm inviting you now.
Okay.
I'm inviting you now.
I hear nothing but good things.
My restaurant.
I want to go to the restaurant and see the show this weekend.
What do you mean it's the #1 restaurant?
I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
It's a hot ticket.
The hot ticket.
It's a hot ticket.
Great. It's the best Italian food and the best steaks in the city. And the best steaks. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
My restaurant, how lucky am I? My restaurant is on 48th Street, 2nd Avenue. The show, 48th Street.
Perfect.
And 7th.
Perfect.
Right?
Wow.
Who's luckier than me?
Perfect.
So what I do is I go there before the show, and there's all these people eating there to go see the show, and then I go there
Beautiful.
after
Look at
the
that
show,
place.
Wow.
and I see all these other people going to. So it's amazing. It's like a big fun party.
Showtime is hard to get in there. You can't get around Broadway Showtime.
How do you know this stuff?
I'm a New
Sherrod?
Yorker. It's my town.
Sherrod knows his shit.
I know what's good in his town.
He goes to white meetings too.
So your problem
There, I
is
speak
you're making too much money and you have too much time on your hands.
I got 2 little kids, Chaz.
Well, I know.
All right. I haven't left the house in 2 years.
Yeah, 2
Help me.
little
Look at
kids,
that.
that's it.
Come kidnap me.
Yeah.
How many years has the restaurant been
It's
around?
only been a year.
And it's #1
I'm telling
already?
you. 5
hot
stars.
ticket.
Go to it. And 5 stars. Go. That's it right there.
That video that you just saw
With that
looked
steak?
you see videos of
Of
food at restaurants, and you go, ugh, you probably shouldn't show the videos, but
this.
that looked delicious.
I've been bitching that I cannot find a good Italian
Well, I'm
restaurant
going
in
to
New
give
York
you
City.
my card. I'm going to give you my card before I leave.
Yeah, you're going to do that.
I want you to come there.
And we're going to be there at 6:15 tonight there. Look
at that.
Craig?
All right.
Look at that.
Listen, I'll be there. You come there.
All right.
I'm telling you.
You
let
want
me
to
know
go
if
eat
you
at
go there.
Chaz's place tonight, Sherrod?
I got the podcast, but I'll come after.
Fuck the podcast. We're going to Chaz's restaurant
I'm
with
telling you.
Chaz.
Okay, if it's on the arm, shit, I can't say no to that.
Are you kidding? It's great.
I bitch.
It looks gorgeous in there.
No,
Look
it
at that
is.
fucking room.
I live in New York. I live on the Upper West Side, and
You're on the Upper West Side. Okay.
huh?
Yeah, this is on the East Side.
It's on the East side.
Well, they say how there's no real good restaurants on the Upper West Side, and in general, they're
Really?
right.
There isn't that many
And
good
I
restaurants?
cannot find just a basic red sauce,
No.
Chaz.
See, if you want to know if an Italian restaurant is great, here's what you got to do. This is what I do.
Yeah.
When I'm in a strange city or town, I walk in, I order like a spaghetti pomodoro. That's all. Just
Right.
give me that. If you mess that up, that's it.
Right.
Because that you're tasting how they make the spaghetti, if they make it al dente, and you're tasting the sauce. That's the basic root of what an Italian a restaurant is. And if they mess that up, I get up, I leave. I know everything else is bad. I know.
That's a
You
good point.
at least leave a little tip.
I leave a tip. I leave a good tip.
A good tip, but you
It's
don't
like
pay
fix
for
your
the
food.
You
That's
don't
your
pay
tip.
for the meal though.
No, I pay for the meal, and I leave a good tip, but
Yeah,
I
he's
just
got
won't
the
go
money.
to that.
He could do
I
that.
won't go to that restaurant. No
It's
more.
got your name on it. How often do you hear about people stopping in and going, "Hey, where's Chaz?
I'm
Is
there.
Chaz around?"
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the theater a lot, I'm there all the time.
Really?
And you know what's really great? I bring some of the cast. And Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Sunday nights we have a matinee 3 to 5.
Right.
And after 5, I bring a lot of the cast. In
Why
there.
the hell haven't I seen this show yet, Chaz?
You got to come and see the show.
I want to see the show.
You got-
Did you see the one-man show for
No.
A Bronx
No,
Tale?
no.
It was, I'm telling you, it was amazing. And I'm not just saying it because he's
Well,
back.
yeah, thank you.
He came in to promote, and we all sort of
I
hit
think
it
you
off.
told me about that before. That's right.
And I think it was me and Jimmy went, and it was unbelievable how great it was. And it was just one man, obviously.
you
And now
talked-
it's like,
and you were very nice. You talked about it a lot, and I
of
appreciate
course
that.
we
No,
did,
but-
because it was that
no.
good. And now you got the full production.
No,
on
when you want to
Broadway.
see listen, you're my guest. Come and see it.
I'm going to
Okay.
figure that out like real soon.
I'm taking him up on
Yes.
that, even though
Yeah.
he didn't look at me to invite me.
Well, you got to go when he goes.
All right, I gotta take my wife, Chaz. I want to take my wife.
Yes. No, you got to get out.
So-
you got to get out a little bit.
So you go to the theater almost every night for the show?
A lot. I would say 8 performances a week. I'm there at least 4.
Now, let me tell you a little, well, I don't know if you're going to agree with this, but I had a friend that was on Broadway for a while, Stephen Lynch.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
did The Wedding Singer. He was bored out of his mind. He was great in it. He got really good reviews, and we would go and hang out with him backstage. And he's like, this is torture, especially for a stand-up.
Let me tell you
because
something. It is hard work. hard work. I mean, you do 8 shows a week.
Right.
It's hard work.
But my point is, when you go there and you're seeing the show over and over and over again, how are you like passing the time? Because you're not watching every.
I don't go right from the beginning to the. I'll slip in halfway through, and I'll see how it's going, and I'll make sure nobody sees me. That's important.
Right.
There's some shows I've seen a few times. I saw Chicago several times. I like Chicago, but
Well, only a few shows I could see more than once.
Yeah.
I told Lynch
a couple times.
I told Lynch, I'm like, at least you could do some improv. That when you fell into the dumpster or something, he goes, nope, every night. I'm like, every night, because it looks so. Because we knew Stephen Lynch at the time. Like, you put that in the show, right? Just to take care of some of the boredom. He goes, nope, every night.
No, you have to do everything exactly the same
move.
You have to.
It's Groundhog Day.
It was Groundhog Day.
That's exactly
for
it's a
Mr.
different
Lynch.
animal. It's a play. I mean, you tell them the story. You have to stick to the story.
Now, what's going on with the dude from the original movie who was got arrested? That fascinated me.
Yeah, he got out.
He's back out.
He's out now on the street.
He did 10 years.
Am I safe on the street with him out here?
He did 10 years.
He did 10 years. He's out. Now he's trying to revise his career.
When's the rap album coming out?
Yeah. He's trying to revise his career. But, hey, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. That's what the movie's about. He's in the quintessential movie about not wasting your life, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
So, I hope they say he's getting it together. He's trying to get his life together. Fine. But, hey, you have an opportunity. You know how that is. You get that one opportunity.
Yeah.
That door opens. You got to go through it.
Has he reached out to you, Chaz?
No, I don't want to, I have nothing to say to him.
Well, we have a surprise. He's here.
And he needs money. He needs money.
Bring him out.
You see his face for a second?
I'm like,
you should have let that sit there for a couple more seconds.
You could have let that sit there for a minute.
Chaz just saw a ghost.
No, actually, no.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm very serious about that. He ended up, he was involved. He didn't do it, but he was ended up involved in the killing of a police officer.
Right.
And that's very dear. That people know how I feel about the NYPD, and so I was very upset by that. So I said, hey, that's it.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough
done.
one.
Drugs, man.
That's a tough one, man.
Drugs is a problem in everybody's family.
Drugs are 99-0. They win every time.
I'm undefeated.
They're undefeated. Drugs are undefeated. I'm sorry.
Did he come at any point in his life before he got into these problems? Did he ever come to you for help? Was he?
I went to him to try to help him.
Really?
So you knew.
Oh, I knew. I said one day I'm going to hear something. Somebody's going to give me a phone call. I said, I know what's going to happen to you.
And
he said,
you knew that when you worked on the movie with him, right?
Not then, no.
Not then, okay.
No, I would say a few years after that, and I would talk to him and say, what are you doing? Because I knew, he said, no, I'm not getting high no more. I'm looking at him. I grew up in the Bronx. Excuse me. I grew up with junkies. Don't tell me you're not getting high. And he just didn't listen. And, hey, you know what? You gotta do the right thing, babe.
Yeah.
You gotta do the right thing. Otherwise,
he was young too. He was a young kid when he went in.
Yeah. And he was 16 when he got in the movie. Again, that's why people come to see the Broadway show. It's because it's about a lot of parents bring their children there.
Yeah.
14, 13 years old, because it shows. Don't waste your life. Like, you have the talent. You can do anything you want to be. And that's why people, Alfred Hitchcock once said, there's only 3 things you could do to an audience. And if you do 2 out of 3, you're doing really great. He says you can make them laugh, you can make them cry, or you could scare them. That's all you can do.
I got to.
That's all you can do. But in Bronx Tale, we do all 3.
Yeah.
We make you laugh, we make you cry, and we scare you.
Oh, yeah.
Sherrod scared Chaz when he snuck up behind him to sit in the studio.
So when these people leave, they're crying, they're excited. And I'm telling you, the real key is box office. We are just selling out. We have over $7 million advance, and it's just doing great.
That's amazing. So you got to squeeze a couple extra seats in there for
Absolutely.
us. All right, we're going to work that out.
That's crazy.
I'll give you my private.
I would appreciate that. I got to see this thing. I was going to ask, because you said you grew up around junkies in the Bronx.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys long gone?
They're all gone, yeah.
And then it was
one I know lives in L.A. now, and he's successful. One
really?
Yeah, he made it through.
And the rest of them
gone.
But he's not doing drugs anymore.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, he gave up drugs 25, 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're all gone from drugs and just
all gone
getting
from drugs.
into
you have to. They're all
trouble.
Trouble, yes.
Gilbert Gottfried coming in studio. We got Chaz Palminteri. Look at this. I love people just strolling in.
They could be the same guy, Chaz and Gilbert. They look like the same guy.
I love how people are just strolling in today, taking their damn time.
It's like a bus stop.
That's right.
Look who's here.
Wow.
Funniest line. One word he said. Picked up the phone and went, bitch! And hung up. Me and my friend still laugh at that. Was that an ad-lib?
Yes.
I said that's an ad-lib.
Yeah.
That was an ad-lib.
I know right away.
The whole scene we ad-lib.
Oh, I said that. I said that was an ad-lib.
What was this in?
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah, we ad-libbed the whole scene.
Yeah. And you remember this.
Because we talk about that. I fall on the floor when he did that. Me and my friends talk about that. All of a sudden he's on the phone, Eddie Murphy's yelling at him, talking about a speeding ticket. Look, you know, he goes, and he comes up with this story about my wife, and he just picks up the phone and goes, bitch! And hangs up. Hysterical.
And when they show it on network TV, they censor bitch.
It's not the same. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what word do they use? Do you know?
Swish.
Set himself up like
is this going to be a special day? A special day.
Hey, we've been on the air. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But those TV edits can be brutal when you're watching some of those classic
movies. Say, instead of you can't say fuck, you got to say friggin'.
Friggin' isn't as bad as some of the stuff they come up with.
You see, like Boys in the Hood, just turn it off if it's on regular
really?
TV. It's not nothing like the real movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Boys in the Hood, man, that's a great film.
Chaz, when somebody approaches you with the idea to turn the show, Bronx Tale, or turn the movie into a musical, were you resistant to that?
No, I always thought it'd make a great musical because of the operatic themes that it had.
Yeah, I thought it felt like a musical before. Even when I saw the movie, it felt like a musical first.
Yeah,
it came from that root, like the roots of it.
It had these big themes, you know, Guys and Dolls, West Side Story, the interracial romance. I knew that it would be great. Alan Menken did the music, 8 Academy Awards, you know, and Bob De Niro and Jerry Zaks co-directed it. So I'm just Tommy Mottola. He's really the one who put the musical on his back and made it happen.
Really,
good old Tommy Mottola.
He did the same thing with that Mariah marriage.
Used to be married to Mariah Carey.
He put it on his back and tried to make it work.
And it didn't work.
Didn't work out.
I love how you call him Bob De Niro. When you want to be able to do that, it's great.
I like to talk to Bobby De Niro and Marty Scorsese.
Right.
But let me give you the lowdown on the Bob and Robin and all that.
Okay, please.
Okay. His family, if someone says Robert, have you seen Robert? I know it's family. Mm-hmm. If someone says Bob, I know it's a friend. If someone says Bobby, they don't know him at all. They never met him.
Really?
It's the strength. When they go, Bobby, tell Bobby I'm good. Tell Bobby I'm good. I know he never met the guy.
Wow.
It's a strange thing. People say Bobby. They go, tell Bobby I said hello. I know they never met him.
There you go. We got the answer to that.
Oh, I just remembered another TV thing.
Oh, you did?
When instead of fuck you, it could be a gangster or a cop. Sure. They'll go, forget you, man.
Yeah, right.
And I'll think,
oh, God.
And I'll go, who says that?
Yeah.
Name one person who ever said, forget you.
That's a common overdub.
Right. Forget you.
Yeah,
fights.
They'll mess with the language, but they'll keep all the violence in there.
That's how you could have someone's throat.
Now that I'm a father, I would rather have my kids hear fuck than some of the violence.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Who cares if they hear a couple curse words?
Did you offer any roles on the Bronx Tale to actors who turned it down?
No. We did all.
I was just busy that time.
What role were you up for?
The black girl.
Can we recreate that scene right now with Gilbert playing the black girl? Do you know any of the lines in the movie?
The funny thing about Bronx, we used all street guys. Me and De Niro and Joe Pesci were the only actors in the movie.
I believe that because it looks so authentic.
Yeah,
those faces you can't.
Those were all guys.
Cast
it was very difficult to work with them, but I mean they were great. But they just were not disciplined.
Right.
We Bob De Niro he wanted to use real money in the crap game, so we got $5,000 in real money,
and it disappeared.
Well, what happened was after the first day, the prop guy walks over and says, "Bob, we're $1,400 short." stealing the money.
That's hilarious.
That is great.
They can't help themselves.
Oh my God.
Now, and it's funny. What I found out is I think by law, you have to use real money in movies and TV, because if not, that means you're making counterfeit money, no matter how phony it looks.
I've never heard that before.
I think it has to be, if you're using a counterfeit, it has to be a little smaller than the real size.
Yeah.
Money.
Oh,
So it
okay.
looks a little smaller, but it's not actual
So it's
money.
pretty obvious that it's fake.
Do you remember in the old movies that money looks so false? They
It
would be
was
like,
big and
and it would be white paper with a circle
They didn't
and
have a budget.
and a square.
They didn't have a budget for
Put your
props.
Alfred E. Newman in the thing.
Do you remember a bit you did for us, Chaz, 8 years ago? We were doing a radio show, me and Anthony. It was Bob Kelly, Patrice O'Neill, who's no longer with us, and we set up Voss to do a cold reading for a Bronx Tale with Chaz.
yeah. Really?
We set him up so bad. I found the video because I knew you were coming in today. I'm going to put it online today. But we were asking Voss to do, some lines from a Bronx Tale, and he's like, "All right, yeah, no problem." And then he walks in at the perfect time, and like, you're going to be doing lines with Chaz.
I walk in and he goes, "Yeah, you don't mind doing it with Chaz."
Right.
And he
And
was
Voss was like, we had a good old time.
I have to see that.
Yeah, I'll put it up tonight, but that was awesome that you did that for us.
How was Voss? Not good?
He was all right.
I want to hear Gilbert read for one of the characters in the movie.
Yeah?
Gilbert would be great. I just love listening to Gilbert read anything.
That movie is such a classic. Like, how important was the music in the movie?
very important. Yeah.
Now, even when you think back of your memories in your head, do you hear music? That's
I did a lot of music that I grew up with, that I remembered, the Four Tops and the Impressions, and I loved, Henricks and all those movies.
Yeah.
And it was really Bob's idea that said each crew had their own music. The Wise Guys had Sinatra, the Blacks had James Brown and R&B,
right,
and the Kids had doo-wop. But that's why the musical on Broadway now is so great, because you have all these variations of different music.
That's the difference.
Just all these variations of music attacking each other, just like they attacked each other.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why it's so great. Yeah.
Oh,
this kid from A Bronx Tale still in jail.
Oh, we went over that, Gilbert.
He got out, Gilbert. Yeah.
Ixnay.
Okay. I don't want to talk about him then. I don't want to say anything to piss him off.
No, Chaz answered the question.
In case he's listening, I thought you gave a fine performance, and I was against them locking you up. Okay.
He did 10 years. He's out. He's trying to get his life together. And, and that's about it. Okay. We'll move on.
I can't imagine how many wannabe tough guys want to come up and talk to Chaz about his life. And
yes,
sure.
They're all their lives. They say, my life's a movie too. I said, I think that's great. I think you should get 120 blank pages and go write it.
Yeah.
And go write it. And wow, I wish you the best of luck.
See what
in the
happens.
world. See what happens. But but everybody thinks their life's a movie. But you got to make it. You got to write it. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Mob guys got to love you, right, Chaz?
Oh God, forget it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the mob guys, forget it. Yeah. It's funny thing. What happened was,
why is it scary?
That's fun.
I
used to party with all mob guys.
I
on
love
75th
mob
Street.
guys.
Well, they're great, but you know what? I love
Old school mob guys.
Old school.
I hang with them, but I don't hang with them. I say hi. I have dinner,
I was at
but-
Danny Aiello's birthday party every year.
Right.
With dirty good fellas.
No, I'm talking like I was a caddy at a golf course, and the mob guys were amazing.
They're
They
fun.
always took care of us.
Oh,
They were
they're
so
the best.
fucking cool.
As far as typical, because they never know if they're going to go away any minute. That's why they do that.
They always
Now,
had just.
I heard with mob guys, if you let them do any favor for you, then you're pretty much indebted for the rest of your life.
It matters the person. If it's a good guy, and if you let him do a favor, they have this thing. You do one. You ask them for one favor, the next minute, hey Chaz, my daughter, she's got a confirmation. My son, could you show up? And you go, well, you got to show up.
Right.
You know? So you got to be careful when you say yes to.
You've had that happen?
Oh, God, yeah.
Wow.
I've had that. Where they
And people are going to kids' birthday parties going, what the fuck is Chaz Palminteri doing?
No, I mean, I don't do it anymore, but in the beginning, when I first, God.
I don't have any mob in my family. He showed up in my wedding. So.
In 1982, I got my first big break. I got an understudy part, on Broadway. So I go to the neighbor, and all the wise guys hear about it. They go, hey, Chaz, you're on Broadway. We're so happy. Listen, we all want to come and see you. We're going to get all the guys. And I go, I'm sorry, but you won't see me, but you can come and see the show, but you won't see me. They go, well, what are you talking about? You're on Broadway. Everybody said you're on Broadway. I said, yeah, but I'm an understudy.
Right.
So he goes, an understudy? What the hell's an understudy?
No.
So I said, well, if something happens to the guy... I said, my hand to God, this happened. No. I told the story on Letterman. I said, if something happens to the guy, then I go on. So then I say, I'll come and I'll see you later. And I walk away.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my friends, and all of a sudden he comes back over to me, and he gives
Breaking news.
He gives me the elbow walk. You know, when they grab you by the elbow, they go, come here, I want to talk to you. Yeah. So he gives me, I call that the elbow walk. Yeah. You know it's not good when they grab you.
Yeah.
And he goes, listen to me. He goes, between you and me, he goes, you want to go on? So I said, I didn't know what he was saying right away. I said, excuse me? He says, you want to go on. And then I realized what he was saying. I said, no. I said, no. You can't do that. Come, I go. He goes, don't worry. We'll make it look like a mugging. Nobody will know. He goes, you want him in the hospital 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you want.
Amazing.
I said, listen to me. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
Please. He goes, then he looked at me, he goes, oh, I know. You don't want to be involved. I said, no, I don't do anything. And I had to beg the guy, and then he said, all right. But that night, I went to the show, and as an understudy, you have to watch the people, right? I'm watching the people, and I'm looking at this guy who was a real asshole, who I was understudying. I didn't like the guy at all, because he didn't treat me nice. And I looked at him, and I said, you don't know how lucky you are. You have no idea how close you came.
You should have told your buddy to give him like a sprained ankle. So you get a couple.
I would have Nancy Kerry again.
Just a limp. Just give him a limp.
I don't want to do that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a true story.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Scary.
He's got the #1 restaurant in Manhattan, Gilbert.
The what?
You don't know the
#1 restaurant.
You got to come to my restaurant, Chaz Palminteri,
48th and 2nd
If I
Avenue.
can get a free meal out of it, I'll be
You got it.
I'll be there tonight.
He'll definitely be there tonight.
Tonight. Can I go there now?
We're all going tonight, I think.
You got it. Okay, it's really
Gilbert,
good.
do you ever stop by Caroline's and get food just to stop in and get food?
I have done that.
I've heard that Gilbert will stop in just to get some food.
He likes things on the arm.
Yes.
Gilbert's been known to do that from time to time.
It's the best way to get
I'll
stuff.
stop over at an ISIS meeting.
Are you eating this? No.
Just for the free coffee?
That is right.
Can I take some of this home with me?
Just a nosh.
Chaz only has 5 minutes left with us.
Yes.
But we promoted
tell you guys are great, man. I love
thanks,
the way you
Chaz.
do it. It's just like hanging out. And
We're just fooling around.
Now, has Robert De Niro ever had sex with a white woman?
Let me tell you something. It's funny you said that because everybody comes over to me and goes, Chaz, come on, tell us the truth. Bob De Niro put that in the movie, right, about the black girl. And I go,
funny.
No, you think Bob De Niro is the only one who ever dated a black girl?
That
I said,
is
no.
too funny.
I did. I dated. I fell in love with this black girl when I was 18 years old.
Yeah, so have I.
No. Oh, there you go. So there you go.
You've only dated white women.
No.
Yeah.
Heavens no.
Yeah. So that's, but many people actually say that to me, that's Bob De Niro. He put that in. And I go, no, not at all.
That's Bobby.
Well, Bobby, then they don't know.
But that's one of the joys of growing up in New York. You get to date outside of your race. You get access to ethnicities
and
outside
no one
of your
gives
race.
you dirty looks.
So, no, they still do, but less so.
Less so.
I can't even fuck a white woman. And I grew up in New York.
Still my favorite line. Bitch!
So I thought De Niro put that in there.
No, most people do.
Yeah.
That's
most
hilarious.
people do. When we were doing interviews, they said in France they were saying, "Oh, Mr. De Niro, we know you," and he said no. He said, Chaz dated black girls. Is that is that weird? Is that, it's like, is he the only guy that ever dated a black woman? I mean, come on.
Well, the only white guy who talked about it in public.
Yeah.
But please answer the question, sir.
Yes.
Has Robert De Niro ever fucked a white woman?
You know what? I will talk about Bob De Niro's work. But I do not talk about my friend's personal life. Never. You want to know about his work? I'd be more than happy to tell you about it. As far as personal life, I don't talk about anybody's personal life.
Are there any actors left that you really respect that you've yet to work with, that you want to work with?
You know what? I've never worked with Gary Oldman, and I love him. I think he's just great.
Yeah, that would be great.
I just worked with Tom Hardy, who's really brilliant.
Oh, he is brilliant.
He's brilliant. I did a movie with him in London, and he was great. Really great. But I've always wanted to work with Gary Oldman because I just think he's just great.
He is a genius.
Yeah.
In The Professional, that is one of the best acting jobs I've ever seen. Was in The Professional. He was insane.
He's just, I just think he's great. Really great. And Liam Neeson, too. I like Liam Neeson.
Liam's great.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, I think, is really
He'll bring
brilliant.
his daughter back.
Yeah.
Oh, the Taken movies?
He'll come back and get his daughter.
Oh, my God. Enough with the Taken movies.
Don't fuck with his daughter.
You worked with Pacino, right?
Yeah, I worked with Al a few times. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
Great.
Yeah.
Al is great. I worked with Al. Is just, he's always there. He's always like excited about working. And
I'll say. Didn't he just have a baby at 72?
Yeah. He's busy.
Little Al's excited about working.
Yeah. No, he loves theater, and he loves theater.
I do.
Did you ever work with Dustin Hoffman?
No, I never worked with Dustin. No,
love theater.
I haven't.
Chaz, I got an idea that I want to run past you. It's an idea inspired by your movie, A Bronx Tale. It's a list of women that I've banged called a box tale.
Let me tell you something. That is great. That is great.
Chapter 1. Goldie Hawn. How do I taste, Kurt? That's box tail. Chapter 2. Mia Farrow. She likes it in the shitter. That's a box tail. Chapter 3. Beverly D'Angelo. She let me pee on her. That's a box tail. Hoo-ah.
That is great.
Bravo. Wow. We're not going to beat that.
Chapter 4, the girl who played Precious. That wasn't me. That was Bob De Niro. Forget that.
That's amazing. I want to see the play. I want to see the musical.
We're going to go see the play. We're going to see the musical. We're going to go to the restaurant.
Yes.
I think we got something good going on here.
So what are the show times? Is it 6
8 shows
nights?
a week.
8 shows.
8 shows at the Longacre Theater.
Longacre.
At the Longacre Theater on 48th Street between 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
And it's really, I'll tell you, it's the New York Times Critics' Choice. It's got great reviews, and it's really great.
Is it sold out for a while, the show?
No, it's sold out for a lot, but you talk to me and I can help you.
No, I mean, for the people out there, so,
They can see, now that sounds like real mobster talk.
Totally.
It's sold out, but talk to me.
Well, mobsters have that thing, so I grew up with them. I can't help myself.
How great would it be if it was sold out open? You go and they take a table and carry it like in Goodfellas.
No,
carry the table right in the front.
They take a chair. Like a chair. They just take a chair.
Candle and shit.
That would roll.
That would be so
God,
awesome.
I would love that. Speaking of Robert De Niro, does he still want to beat up Trump? Have you talked to him lately?
We don't talk politics. We never talk about politics.
He is all about it, though.
Yeah. No, he's relaxed a little more now, and he says, "Hey, you know what? He wants to see. Look, he says, you give him a shot. Let's see what he does."
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the fair way to be.
A lot of people are starting to say that.
You have to. He's our president. He's going to be our president.
What's going to happen? You're going to have a revolution. You got it. You look. He's trying to do good for everybody. Give the man a shot. That's how I say.
You have to respect the office of the president. Chapter 5. Shelley Winters. Jump in and hang on for dear life.
See, what pisses me off is Americans who, the minute they don't like what the president says or anything, it's like, well, I'm leaving America. It's
Gilbert, you never decided to leave America. You never made the announcement that you're going to leave.
But they never leave.
No,
I want one to officially go.
And they all say I'm going to Canada for one thing.
Yeah, that's racist.
That's
right?
as racist as hell. Mexico's just as close.
Yeah.
But you feel just like Trump feel.
Yes.
That's why you ain't going to Mexico. So shut your white mouth.
So you're going to move to America light.
You could get into Mexico a hell of a lot easier.
Breezy.
Yeah.
Right.
Canada, you have to take a test.
It's paperwork.
You need a whole... you got to know one of the languages in Canada fluently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada's rough to get.
All right, they're saying Chaz got to go.
All right,
I mean,
guys,
I wish you did the whole show,
It's
Chaz.
a pleasure.
Yes.
How about you
Always a pleasure.
blow off your other interviews and stick around with us?
Nice
This is
to
a
see
place
you
to
guys.
meet you.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, A Bronx Tale
Hey,
on
guys.
Broadway and
how cool is
Chaz
that?
Palminteri's restaurant #1 in Manhattan.
Number
Absolutely.
one.
Let's take a quick break so we can get a picture,
Okay.
and then we'll
doesn't get
continue.
more Italian than
Stay there.
Opie Radio is back.
We got Craig Gass, we got Gilbert Gottfried, and we got Sherrod Small in studio.
Yes, sir.
Chaz was a lot of fun, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is.
That was pretty nuts.
He's a New Yorker.
That's an authentic New Yorker.
I wish he was the president.
Yeah.
He would be a good
I would vote
president.
for Chaz for president.
And he meant it. Like, I always get, like, empty invites. You get,
Oh, yeah. No,
do you
he
get a
meant
lot of
it.
empty invites?
Oh, yeah. I give them.
I got the real invite. Personal information. I should have heard that. I should have stopped and laughed at that. He gave me the real deal.
Yeah, the real deal Holyfield.
Personal shit. He said, you're going to the Broadway show in my restaurant.
I can't believe you didn't know about the restaurant.
We haven't been out as much as
That's true.
the old days.
I'm
We're starting to get out there again.
I'm
though.
standing in that semicircle.
I usually get the phony invites.
You do get phony invites?
I'll get those people who go, oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to call you. And then they all of a sudden are in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, my favorite phony invite is Quentin Tarantino. He was in here. He used to do our show from time to time. He still does it if he's got something going on. He invited us to do movie night at his house. You know, he does those famous movie nights. And I'm like, it's like, next time you're in L.A., you got to come by for one of my movie nights.
And he gave you a number?
That's where it ended. And then, because then you don't want to, after the mics are off, go, hey, about that movie night.
Oh, yeah, you don't wanna bring it up.
You can't do that.
No.
You can't go, how do I contact you?
That might be on you, though.
How?
Because you just bring it up.
How do you bring that home?
Just bring it up and say, yeah, off the air, say that does sound like a great thing, and then he either gives you his number or he doesn't.
I don't know.
Well,
I've never been that guy. I can't step forward after that. I was sitting there hoping that it was going to lead to an actual
think that might be on you.
phone number or something.
When I get a celebrity's number, I always am too scared to call it up because
Me too.
It's kind of like the few times I have, it's like you ever meet a girl and you get her number and she's like, oh, here's my number, and if I'm not here, here's my cell number, and make sure, can you read that? And then you call them and it's like, hi, it's me. Oh, yeah.
Or you don't want to call the number because you might have got the wrong number.
Dan Natterman has a great joke about that where he says, don't you hate it when the ladies give you the fake phone number? They give you that fake phone. Don't you hate that, guys? Yeah. The girl says, here's my number. You call up and you hear, hello, Chang's Chinese restaurant. I don't suppose that Shelley's there.
I don't know, then I'll take a number 5. I'll take the sweet and sour
But I have people's phone numbers in my phone. I never call them up. And then I also never pick up blocked numbers because that could be either a famous person who blocks their number or an old coke dealer I used to hang out with. And I don't want to talk to either of them. But
Sometimes the same person, huh?
I've been, and there's been times I've been sitting at like a Long John Silver's and my phone rings, it's a private number, and I pick up and I hear, hi, Greg, it's Alec Baldwin. I'm sitting here with a couple actor friends of mine. Do you mind doing your Al Pacino? And I'll go, yeah, hang on. And I just feel uncomfortable. Yeah. It's like because I'm not prepared for that. If I know that Chaz Palminteri's coming in, I can prepare for that mentally and be like, all right, I'm going to be cool.
Yeah.
But if I ran into him on the street, I would be a little goofy. I just I have to prepare myself mentally for that to happen.
You should prepare one script that you always have in your wallet for every one Al Pacino script. Your go-to
for every famous person ever.
Your go-to.
It's like Gary Coleman, go.
But I get that. Somebody gives you a number. And in that circle, after that break, we all stand up. Chaz is cool. He takes pictures with us.
Yeah.
And it's Gilbert and Sherrod and Opie.
Yeah.
And Chaz goes, I missed you, Gilbert. It's so good to see you. Here's my card. Gilbert says, I'm going to come get some food. He goes, you can come get some food. Sherrod, brilliant. Opie, here's my card for my restaurant and my personal. This has my personal stuff. And then he looks at me and goes, you're good.
That's kind of like...
He didn't like your Al Pacino.
I don't know.
He probably thought it was an accurate impression, but maybe he didn't like the material.
Didn't like the material, yeah. And I knew I was taking that risk.
I loved it.
Standing next to another celebrity, and they go over to him and go, you are brilliant, just brilliant. And they look at me and go, hi.
It's the same thing. Every comic relates to that after the show, because the headliner, the feature act, and the MC will usually all be hanging out together as the crowd is leaving, and you see the crowd come out and go, there's the, oh my God, we loved you, and there's the other, you were great, and then they'll look at you and go, where's the bathroom?
We told him that you were good too. Yeah. You were good too, kid.
Yeah.
Or the excuse me that leads to them handing you their phone to take the picture.
To take a picture of the other two guys. Yes. Of the other two guys.
Yes.
That happened with me and Voss, of all people, at the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Someone wanted you to take a picture of Voss?
Me and Ed, for a while there, we were red hot, and then we were off the air for a while, and Voss, in that time period, got on TV.
Right.
We're at the Comedy Festival up there, and people come up to me like, hey, and I'm like, yeah, here we go, I'm getting recognized again. And she hands me the fucking camera and goes, can you take a picture of me and Rich Voss? I had no idea who I was.
But was Rich good enough to say, you know who that is?
No. I want that. Hell no.
No, instead he openly mocked and laughed at me. That's what I wanted.
Yes.
One time I was walking in a park, and out of the bushes, I got scared. Out of the bushes jumped like this mob of paparazzi because they heard someone walking, and I swear to God, they're all aiming their cameras. Thank you. They're all aiming their cameras at me, and then they put the cameras down, and the guy goes, "Oh no, that's not Jennifer Aniston."
One guy go, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, like I wonder how long they had to look.
Have any of you had somebody approach you who turns out to be a fan, but the way they approach you makes you think they're going to do something bad to you?
Too many times to count.
Oh, yes.
Too many times to count.
Any stories that you can share?
I'm trying to think.
I had a guy that...
nothing
Sure,
great.
What's the pizza place across from the cellar across 6? Oh, no, Joe's.
Oh, Joe's Pizza, yeah,
Joe's,
right on 6th Avenue.
On the corner. I went in there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's a Puerto Rican guy that was... 2 Puerto Rican guys are by the entrance, and they both stare at me as I walk past them. And I go
Sounds
to
like
order
lyrics from a Paul Simon song.
I order a slice, and then I look back over my shoulder, and one of them goes, go outside. And the other one goes outside, and he's standing underneath a tree, and he's looking both ways and kind of watching.
Okay.
And I go, fuck. And I order my slice, and then one guy's still standing at the entrance when I walk past him, and he's looking at the other guy going, go. And I'm like, this is not... And I walk past the guy, he's standing in the tree, he's looking around, and I go around the corner to go up 6, and they start walking behind me.
What?
And then I turned around and I said, can I help you? And one of the guys goes, were you on King of Queens? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I told you that's him. And the guy had a paper bag. He pulled a camera out of the paper bag and goes, can we get a picture? And I go, oh my God. Don't ever approach people like that. Right. That's really fucking frightening.
Right.
Yeah. That's why as soon as I saw them like talking back and forth to each other, I would have been like, what's up?
Yeah.
Just let's get to the bottom of it, nigga. Either we scrapping right here in the pizzeria.
Right. I think New Yorkers
let's get it out the way.
I think you just have an intuition in New York where you read people's body language, so you know you're just always watching people's body language. So
always confront.
Yeah.
Might as well, because you might be just misunderstanding, and I want to punch somebody in the face who don't deserve it. I probably would have already swung on them when they walked behind me.
You ever misunderstood and you thought somebody was excited to see you and you misunderstood and started talking shit?
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes people play it off like they wasn't trying to talk shit. Be like, no, I'm a fan. It's like, nigga, you ain't approached like a fan.
Craig,
you approached like this was beef.
It's a long story. I'll give you the short version. When we were at NEW, Jay Moore did our show a lot.
Yeah.
And he set me and Anthony up for like an April Fool's prank. You know, he decided, I'm going to prank the kings of the pranks.
Right.
And long story short, one of the guys came in after all this shit was going on. I jumped up, threw my headphones down, and clocked this guy. Clocked him hard. And at that point...
Wait. What was leading up to... What did he do when he walked in the studio? Wait, was this in the studio?
Well, they were calling outside the studio, and I was trashing them, and they were trashing me. And they're like, oh, yeah? And then they came in.
Oh, okay.
So it was Paul Bond. Do you guys know Paul Bond, the comedian?
I know the name.
And we used to call him Billy Staples. I forgot his real name. So I jumped up, threw my headphones down, ran, and clocked Paul Bond right in the eye. Right in the eye socket, right here. And then Billy, who's a huge guy, grabs me, and I'm like, I am so fucked right now. This guy's going to beat the shit out of me. At that point, they start, as Paul Bond's holding his eye, he's like, April Fools! April Fools! April Fools!
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But Gilbert is such a small framed guy. I feel like he could get fucked with easily, and like it would be. I feel like he could get intimidated easily, and people are just excited to see him. You know, when they see him, if they see him walking down the street. I mean, do you ever feel?
Oh yeah.
And
I get scared sitting in my apartment by myself. I'm ready to jump.
Gilbert is not in social situations. Gilbert's not always comfortable in social situations.
Oh,
I can't imagine walking down the street and somebody seeing him and going, "Oh, I love and families."
Gilbert's a guy that should never live in New York City with everything that's going on. Yeah. Just trying to get the paper at the corner. It's got to be an adventure.
But you know what? Sometimes he blends right in. Like you blend into the scenery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Something about this, I'll turn around, I don't see him at the Comedy Cellar. Then I'll turn right back around and he's sitting there, already half finished the soup. I'm like, when the fuck did this happen?
My favorite thing is watching Gilbert perform, and at every show I've ever seen him do, there's always a section of the audience who are learning for the first time what Gilbert does on stage. They don't know. They think they're going to see the parrot from Aladdin, and they're shocked at what they're seeing.
Oh, the dude from the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
And it's much more than
that. You
know
who else got that was Bob Saget.
Oh yeah,
Saggy gets it.
He invited.
Bob promoted that. Bob promoted that he was the I'm the dirty comic guy.
No,
now.
it was when it was still transitioning.
Oh,
he was doing our show. He invited me to see him out on Long Island. I went, gave me great seats. Blah blah blah. I saw people walking out there like, what the fuck is this?
Because it was so blue.
He's so dirty. Yeah. People don't realize he started very dirty. He was always the dirty comic.
Yeah. That reminds me when the Aristocrats was showing.
Great movie, by the way. Yep. Love that thing.
In one of the screenings of The Aristocrats in one of the theaters, a woman jumped up in the middle of The Aristocrats and yelled out, "This isn't The Aristocats."
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Was it halfway through? You said
halfway through. Because up until then, it could be a Disney film.
But what about when people do that in the middle of your set? Do you ever see people getting up, and do you acknowledge them as they're walking out?
Sometimes, yeah. I always... Sometimes if someone walks out in the middle of the show, I feel like, I'm slipping. Like, I usually could make them walk out
earlier.
Yeah.
I remember one of his opening lines. I remember seeing him do stand-up, and his opening line was, "So I was in Africa the other day. You know, it's all blacks there now." And there was just, you could hear a pin drop. Like, what? Except for comics. Comics in the back of the room laughing their asses off. But one of my favorite comics to watch, Gilbert.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite moments ever at a roast was watching Gilbert we talked with Rich yesterday about that roast of Richard Belzer. Gilbert showed up at the roast, and it was my understanding that you were invited to just sit in on the roast. Was that right?
I think so.
And when Gilbert shows up, they tell him, Gilbert, thanks for coming down. By the way, we're going to put you on after Christopher Walken. And he's not prepared to do the roast.
Right.
And so we're in the basement of this theater. It was Voss and Norton are trying to help Gilbert and feed him material about Belzer. And Gilbert just goes up on stage and has nothing to do with the roast when they introduce him. They say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gilbert Gottfried. And you can hear him on the microphone as he walks past Richard Belzer and says, I'm sorry. I'll do the best I can. And then Gilbert walks up to the mic and goes, I just insert the name Richard Belzer wherever you'd like. And he just did 5 minutes of pedophile jokes. And none of them were going over well. None of them.
That's amazing.
And then he ends with, so how do you get a faggot to fuck a woman? You stuff her cunt full of shit. God bless you. And he got a standing ovation. He got I've never seen anything like it before. It was exactly like the moment when Gilbert was on The Tonight Show making fun of Jay Leno to the point where the audience was booing Gilbert, and he stood up and walked off the couch and said, listen, the only reason you people are here is because you couldn't get tickets to Blossom. And they all applauded and said, you're right, you're right. And they all applauded.
Turned them right around.
I love the balls on this guy.
No shit.
I love the balls on Gilbert.
No shit.
I just can't imagine it's in those moments when you feel like the audience is pulling away from you. How much you always have a look of joy on your face.
It gives them great pleasure.
It is. Yeah.
Gilbert, what are you promoting today, by the way? What do you got going on? The podcast is kicking
Caroline's.
ass.
I hope I have this correct.
All right.
Can you look this up while I'm before? I think it's the 23rd and 24th.
Of this month?
Yes.
Okay, let me look here.
Is it?
I don't have it in front of me. We'll look it up, though.
Yeah, December 23rd and 24th, I think. Wait, there's
What a
Caroline's.
great way to spend your holiday.
That's just Jew dates.
Okay.
We call those Jew dates in the business.
Yeah.
That's a Jew date.
But
That's
Hanukkah matches up with Christmas this year.
There it is.
yeah, that's what they saying. That's right.
It's the 23rd and the 24th,
I
Gilbert.
was
You were
right.
right. Friday, December 23rd, Saturday, December 24th.
And my podcast is Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes.
Amazing podcast.
It's a great podcast. I check out episodes here and there. And you had Alan Thicke on in September just like we did.
Oh, who? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Who? You're on TMZ today talking
when that news hit yesterday, it was the Mad Cuban who did the show with us yesterday. Yeah. And he wrote me, he goes, dude, Alan Thicke just died. I'm like, it's going to be a hoax. That's just stupid.
No.
And it was the real deal. Only 69 years old, playing hockey with his 19-year-old son, right?
Yeah, playing hockey
He
with
was
the
just
boy.
in here.
Yeah.
So fucking
He's a good dude,
funny,
man. Talented.
Gilbert gave a really nice, he said some nice words about him today on TMZ. I saw the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they contact you and say, hey, we want to...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you just make believe you're walking down the street and they happen to see you?
Yeah, and you go, gee, I can really use a bag of potato chips now.
Look who it is. It's Gilbert Gottfried.
I think there's a grocery on the corner.
The TMZ just happens to be there.
That's how they did it.
Or maybe I'll go to the other corner and use that grocery because that side of the street's more well lit.
Yeah.
So you stayed friends with Thicke all these years?
Yeah, and we did wife swap together.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
And I was thinking of all the people, if you had to make out a list of people, if you say, what celebrity's going to die next? That wouldn't be one that pops up.
Yeah.
Not
You never
even
know.
Close.
Flavor Flav's still alive. You never know who's going. You never know who's going.
Bobby Brown is still alive. Whitney Houston's dead, but Bobby Brown is alive.
How often would you see Thicke? How often would you guys get together?
Not a lot, but we talk, you know.
And you stayed in touch all these years.
Yeah.
And he put you in a bunch of things over the years.
Yeah, I was in, I was in something.
Well, you were on Thicke of the Night.
I was in Thicke of the Night.
And then, what was the other thing he put you in? I'm trying to remember.
And it really, what pisses me off about it is all the jokes I made, now I can't do them at least for a year because...
He would appreciate it.
People would... Because he wrote and performed the theme song to Thicke of the Night. Yeah. And it was the worst. He would not show it to his wife how bad Thicke of the Night was. And I was one of their resident cast of zanies with Belzer. Right. And the theme song was I'm on the road tonight. Everyone needs a dream to hold on. I'm gonna make it on my own. Running in the thick of the night. City lights.
I like it.
See, you want to get up and
Are you going to go to his funeral?
He did write a lot of theme songs, though. Didn't he write Different Strokes?
Oh, yes.
He wrote Wheel of Fortune.
He wrote
Did he really?
Thick
Yeah,
Money.
Thicke did?
It's all Thick Money.
Yeah, he wrote a bunch of them.
I know he was
A lot of
supportive
money he made from it.
I know he loved comics.
We only met him once, and he was unbelievable. We
Talented
loved the guy right off the bat.
Charisma
so
like a
funny.
motherfucker.
Oh, he roasted Florentine because Florentine had an audition, had to leave early, and he just fucking roasted him for like 3 straight minutes.
Really?
About his dates and stuff, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we posted the video today if you want to check it out on our stuff.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Alan Thicke. It was weird seeing Gilbert getting a little bit sensitive in that interview. And it sounded like you guys were close. But was it like something that, are you going to go to his funeral?
if someone would send me free plane tickets.
Let's get Chaz Palminteri on the phone. Can he fly out?
Hey, Chaz.
Because then all of a sudden we're not that close. I don't want to spread.
I just think it's so interesting to see Gilbert's sensitive side. Is there anyone who you really miss that you were close to in comedy, or anybody that you still like
kind of tear up over?
Tear up over?
Not really.
Cosby. Not even Bill Cosby.
He didn't even pause. Not really. I didn't even think it over.
Did you? I don't know if you guys.
See.
I know you guys have Gilbert in all the time, so I don't know if you already asked him this, but did you know about Cosby before?
Did. Okay.
Well, we all knew.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew,
of course,
that Cosby was fucking everybody but his wife.
Right.
Everybody knew that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the idea that the drugging them, I had never heard that one before.
Really?
And when I first heard it, I thought, this is some girl who's trying to make money.
Of course.
And then there was another girl. I said, she's getting it from her.
Right.
And then it got up to like about 75 women. I thought, maybe there's something. Maybe I shouldn't be too quick.
Wait, this isn't the Aristocats.
So you would see women at the Cosby Show, or they're visiting?
Everybody would.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
So obviously he had an understanding with his wife.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, we don't know for sure, but come on.
Camille, what are you doing, Camille?
She had to have known.
I heard rumors that he was knocking down Robin Givens back in the day. Allegedly. Paid for her schooling. Allegedly. She was on the show, too. Not allegedly. She was
Really?
I heard a lot of splashing was going on.
A lot of splashing.
I didn't know as much, druggy drug downs, but everybody in the circle knew.
But see, we've talked about this probably too much. That's his thing. He wants him to be kind of like dead.
Somebody said about him, they was in Japan with him in a limo, and a whole bunch of Japanese girls walked by. Yeah. He just looked at him and was like this, can't fuck them all.
Right.
Wow.
But he wanted them to be just completely out of it. That was his thing.
Who's the dude from, there was before all the stories came out, I remember hearing a story from that guy from SNL, who's the guy who played Fat Albert.
Oh, yeah, Keenan.
Oh,
yeah. Of course.
Keenan did an interview where he said that his first day on the set that Bill Cosby came in and said, are you married? And he said, no, why? And he said, because you're going to need 2 dicks to handle all the pussy you're going to get. And I was like, no, Cosby didn't say that. And then the stories came out. It's like, wow,
we got to remember one thing. Cosby's a comic like us.
Yeah.
So he's going to talk like we do.
But like a guy like Brian Regan, like he's like a clean comic. And then when you talk to him, he's like, you don't see him like chasing chicks after shows.
But everybody, like Wanda Sykes told me, everybody's got their vice. And so either you got a visible vice that I can see, like, oh, he drink too much. Right. Oh, he stay out late and fuck girls. Or your fucking children. You got an invisible vice that you don't want people to see.
Did you ever go out drinking with Brian Regan?
I heard you tell the story. I heard you tell the story.
He's got a mouth on him.
Yeah, I remember hearing you tell the story.
I heard a story from some guy who worked on the Cosby Show. He told me this.
It's just a story.
Just a story. And allegedly, Cosby had set aside like an hour in the schedule each day where, according to him, he taught comedy to Asian models. This is why there are so many funny Asian models around. This is why whenever you fuck a Chinese girl, when she's coming, she goes, hey, hey, hey.
That's like a friend of mine who is a lighting guy. He tours with a bunch of bands. He said he did a tour with George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic, and that every third song the lights have to be out, completely out for 3 minutes because he's smoking crack. Yeah, for 3 minutes.
I know my bands.
And he smokes crack every 2 or 3 songs. He needs a crack break.
But can't he go backstage and just do that shit?
Yeah, but he wants
George Clinton.
Yeah, he wants the lights to be off, and that was again
where
allegedly
is he smoking the crack right on the stage.
I guess, or behind the stage. Yeah, and then and I heard a lot of stories about it. Then a friend of mine, Chavo, who's a guy, he's in a band, System of a Down. He worked with Clinton on something, and I go, how was it work with him? Isn't he like a party guy? And he goes, I got to be honest with you, bro. He does some things I don't approve of. And I was like, all right, yeah, I heard, yeah. But again, allegedly,
he goes old school hard.
Yeah.
Which is harder than hard.
And it's crazy to me at his age. It's crazy to me at his age.
Now, you think?
70? 70-something?
That's Lemmy.
Gotta be at least 70.
Lemmy from Motorhead just died at 70.
And going back to Gilbert's point, and George Clinton's still doing all right.
If you make it past 60, bring on the drugs.
Yeah.
Why are you stopping then? What the fuck are you doing?
It's just crazy to me. But when you say about having a dark side, John Panette was squeaky clean, super lovable. You could have put him in any kid's movie, and he had a drug thing, and which was mind blowing to me.
What was his drug of choice?
Was it coke?
That's allegedly.
Allegedly.
Which is the alleged drug?
It was coke,
Heroin.
which blows my mind.
Coke, you weigh 2 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
So imagine how big he would have been if he wasn't on the...
And again, it was allegedly, but
That's how
that's
I see it.
I kept him alive all these years.
I stopped in to see him do a show here in New
allowed
York.
him to walk around.
And they had somebody else filling in. I was like, where's Panette? And they said, oh, he's in rehab. And I said, for what? And when they told me, I said, no, what?
Met him once. Great guy.
Really great guy.
Yeah.
But he's, weight is the first sign to see somebody has an addiction.
Oh, of course.
So if you're not eating, you might be, using cocaine the same way you eat it.
Yeah.
Fucking nonstop.
You think eating is truly an addiction?
Definitely.
It
and
can
it's the
be.
hardest addiction because you can't live without it.
And it's so acceptable.
I look at these people walking around Manhattan, really big people. I'm like, I know it's impossible for me to get that big.
Yeah, but if they've not eaten full,
but it has to be
full.
part of their metabolism.
It's a mentality.
They're
their metabolism has to be
eating
slow, too.
The more you eat, after a while, it's like you can eat an entire pie and you don't even feel it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I do believe it's an addiction. I should explain that, but I don't think it is for everybody. I think it's
not for everybody.
You got a slower metabolism, and you can just put on the weight really quickly.
That's true too,
and easily.
That's true too.
Yeah, but there are people who eat in a way that is unhealthy. They need to like get a new set of rules in their life. They have to learn a different way of eating. They eat emotionally.
Emotionally eating.
I eat shitty for one day, and I'm good, man. I can't imagine now the next day doing it all over again.
But for me, it's like I hang out. There's a buddy of mine who he goes to a bar every night. He has a favorite bar that he goes to. He goes in, he has one beer, and he goes home. And that's mind-blowing to me. I can't imagine sitting down and having one. What is the point to having one beer and going home? To me,
it's with these fat people, it's like they never have the sensation of being full.
Right. It's just stopping with the food.
And this reminds
there was a
me.
period there.
I was waiting for the joke.
I was waiting for the dark Gilbert to kick in.
Which reminds me, what do you call a retarded Chinese baby? Something wrong. Get it? Because they're retarded. What do you call a Chinese billionaire? Cha-ching! Get it?
What do you call a black man in the South? He hung high. Get it? I gotta get one in.
Sherrod, do you know why sharks don't eat black people? They think it's whale shit! Get it? Sure. Oh, sure. Affleck.
What do you call a Chinese bimbo? Some dumb cunt.
Help himself. You let him right into the fire.
It feels so good.
We all got confused when Gilbert made just a statement about fat people. What is he doing?
What do you call a surprised Chinese man? Holy fuck! Did you hear about the Mexican racist? He joined the poor KKK. Poor K. Yes. How many people does everyone want to do an impression of you?
Yeah.
Doesn't it bother
I feel like
you?
I could have stayed home.
You could have handed him your plug sheet.
I could have been at home.
And then you wouldn't be scared walking the streets of New York to get here.
You know, here's the thing, Opie. Mexican and black jokes are pretty much the same. Once you've heard Juan, you've heard Jamal.
Don't say your chest hurts. That's what Alan Thicke said.
It's got it. Gilbert won't go to your funeral unless you get him some food. Gilbert is like, I would think, like Christopher Walken. Everybody that sees him wants to walk up and do their impression of him to him.
I would like Tracy Morgan. It's
Tracy Morgan. People come to Tracy and always doing the Tracy impression. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
The strangest one to ever do an imitation of me. I was at a party years ago, and O.J. Simpson was there and did an imitation.
No.
And I thought, boy, I wish I had that on film. That would be like Charles Manson.
Yes.
It would be like the Hillside Strangler.
And Charles Manson won the Heisman.
Roman Polanski walks into the room. I killed him.
What kind of guy was OJ when you met him?
He
I hear he's charming and will turn people around. That if you go into the room thinking you're going to hate OJ, you're going to leave thinking something very different. Wendy Williams said that. She was all about hating OJ until he came on her show, and then she fell in love with the guy just because of his charm.
I believe it.
Yeah. So
he's very nice. You know what he likes? This joke. Why don't black people celebrate Thanksgiving? Because KFC isn't open on holidays. Get it? Not one of the better ones.
Cross that one out. He's crossing that one out.
Sorry. It happens. Sorry. Wow. Was this post Bronco chase, OJ? Was this post? When was this you saw OJ?
Oh, no. This was when he was strictly known as a
decent human being.
Yes.
You mean that changed? I still
he was basically known as someone who you wouldn't run out of the room screaming if you saw her.
What's more decent than rocking some bitch to sleep?
Wow. Holy shit.
I got that one in. Knock the smiles off those white faces,
motherfucker.
Knock the smiles right off those white faces.
Wow, we just got a reality check. That's right.
How you like that, Lewis? No, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That's the blackness.
So you still tour a lot, Gilbert?
Oh, yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Do you like traveling?
I hate traveling.
Why do you hate it?
Flying gets worse and worse. It's like the planes are more crowded.
The seats are smaller.
And then they search you. I go through security each time. It's like they'll go, "Oh, Gilbert Gottfried, I loved you. You were a problem child. You were in this and that." and they're emptying out my luggage and patting me down. And it's like, wouldn't you know that I wasn't a terrorist?
Yeah, right.
If you liked my movies?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's always interesting when you're in LAX and you're going through the...
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. They just want to spend some time with you, some quality time.
Yeah.
They could pull over anyone. Why not pull over the celebrity and have a few moments with them?
And absolutely true. One time, the guy recognized me and he's patting me down and looking through my luggage. And I said... And so I said to him, you know me, but you still have to search me? And he said, "Oh, don't feel bad. Yesterday we searched Julie Andrews."
She is a sneaky woman.
You know what?
Well, she could fly around on the broom or something.
Every time I go through TSA and when I get patted down at LAX, I always like to ask them, who's the most famous person you've ever patted down? And you get some funny answers. But one guy said, most famous guy was also my worst experience. It was Richard Simmons, and he loved it. And I was like, God.
Now there's a case. Richard Simmons.
And what happened to Richard?
Where is he?
He's being held hostage in his own home.
His family, or?
I mean, I that's what they're kind of saying.
Like the first thing they were saying was that he was being held hostage by his maid.
Right. And then he had to do to pretty much tell the world he's okay.
Yeah, and that his friends can't get to him because the maid is blocking.
It's a real
access.
Casey Kasem situation. Yeah. And once Letterman left the air, because remember, he used to always come on Letterman maybe once a year, twice a year, just to see what's going on with him. Yeah. Once Letterman left, now we got no contact with him.
Just looking at the news, it's he closes his exercise studio in Beverly Hills. That just hit. Shares moving message on final day of classes. Speaks out after closing his fitness studio. Sends fans an emotional message. What's going on with this guy?
He's close to the end.
You know what he loves?
You think he's got a little...
No, he loves this joke. What do you call a gay dinosaur? A Megasaurus! Get it? Sure. Okay.
I'll have to put the word sure.
Oh, you don't say sure after every joke, Gilbert?
What do you call a lesbian dinosaur? A lick-a-lot-of-puss. Sure.
Which reminds me, what's the first symptom of AIDS? A pound
wrestling sensation in your ass. Sure.
I think the shore brings it all together.
His podcast is really interesting because, and I don't know if you were reluctant to do a podcast originally. Were you reluctant?
I couldn't. I still can't understand.
Who convinced you to do it? Because it clearly became something that you enjoy now. You seem to enjoy it.
It's so weird, and people listen to it.
Oh yeah,
really.
Who you do it with? I forget his name.
Frank Santopantri.
Frank, and he's
the
always
comedian.
Yeah, and he's always trying to get Gilbert back on the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Gilbert will just start laughing and just be completely off track.
Oh, yeah.
Off course, I should say. Yeah. And it's always fun to see Frank trying to bring it back to the
conversation.
So the conversation at hand. Oh, it's the
I always like to bring up stories of celebrities who like to get shit on.
Oh, yeah. Danny Thomas.
Danny Thomas like to get shit on?
Danny Thomas.
I didn't know that.
According to legend.
Yeah, we don't know
He
for
did a lot of things for kids, sick kids, let them live.
Wow.
Let him live like a little poop on his chest, so what?
Really? So, according to the story,
he would hire hookers, and he'd lie under a glass coffee table.
But see, we've talked about that over the years too. When you want to check that out? I think it's more for the goof. I don't think. How can you be sexually turned on by that?
I watched.
We've tried to get a glass table in here, but they've shut us down.
The funny thing about that is,
trying to get somebody to do that in here?
I would check it out, but I wouldn't be turned on by it.
Can we do that?
I would. I think we'd all laugh our asses off.
I think we would too.
Can we do it right now?
I would think.
I think we need.
I got one brewing.
No, wait. Train off the track. Train off the track.
I'm gurgling.
I think the problem is, once you did that, you could never undo it.
Yeah.
You'd live the rest of your life knowing that people will spend the next 200 years going, hey, you know who likes to get shit on?
No, I don't want to be shit on. There's a difference there.
I don't get it. I don't get what that is. Safely
under a glass table, I think if you had a bunch of guys and a few girls doing that, we would be laughing. We would have the time of our lives.
But what do you think happens?
Let's go to Gilbert's house and do this.
Just when I got new carpets, too.
New white carpet.
Really.
How do you get to that place? So they say a lot of turn-ons for people come from something from your childhood. Like, what is it that...
Well, first of all, it's body fluid.
Okay.
So even in a regular sexual situation that you can think of, body fluid's involved.
Okay.
And that's a joy.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't separate any fluid that comes from your body. Anything that comes from your body can set off somebody's sexual, inhibitions.
Shit. That is the best description.
Tears, piss, fucking cum, blood. Blood, people bleed each other out.
I'm getting a hard on.
Wow.
But to Craig's point, I got two small kids. I'm scared shitless that I'm going to be the one that turns them onto their fetish by accident, by playing with their toes or doing something.
Yeah, there was a psychologist who said the reason why Michael Jackson might have been into kids is because of what happened to him as a kid. Because of he might have been because of the abuse he might have suffered as a kid. So it was a theory, but
plus as a child you already get oral fixation just from feeding. Just back to food again. From breastfeeding, nipple fucking pacifiers.
Opie's mind is spinning right now. He's thinking about his kids.
I honestly think you in a lot of cases when you spank your child, you're turning them onto that as being a fetish when they get older.
Right.
Could be.
Maybe you're doing it like in a way that all of a sudden turns something on inside.
It was Dr. Drew. It was Dr. Drew who said, I know this might sound weird to some people, but there are sources of pain that happen to you as a child that become a source of stimulation as an adult. He said, I know that doesn't make any sense to some people, but that is a psychological thing that happens to people.
I believe it. So back to shitting.
But I never understood the people who get turned on with like a dominatrix and getting beaten and insulted and stuff. That I never quite...
I can understand
that was never...
Because it's a power thing. It's all about power. I mean, usually guys who get that are guys who are really in control of their regular lives.
Yeah,
so
really
like CEOs,
successful
bosses, and
that's true.
And they want to go back and they want to surrender that fucking power because it's exhausting carrying it around all day. Definitely in the bedroom when you're trying to get sexual and you want to be in charge again. No.
Did you read any of that Sumner Redstone stuff?
Sherrod knows his shit.
You read the Sumner Redstone?
No, I know about, you talking about his...
just giving out money left and right for girls all over the place, and he's in his 90s.
Well, he's almost dead.
Yeah, but he was doing this in his mid-80s.
Oh, amazing.
God bless him.
God bless him.
That's
He was handing over a lot of dough.
now
It's still like a bargain to
To
him.
flight attendants and all sorts
Well, that's
of
like the
people.
guy in the former owner of the Clippers who was into...
Sterling?
Yeah, Sterling was given to that
Yeah.
woman who
Oh, yeah.
I think was a tranny. She looked and sounded like a tranny.
She could be a tranny. She looks like she's got so much work done on her body that
You can't tell.
it's like
anymore.
girls get tranny faces now. Even when before.
Yes, they do.
It's even
yeah.
it's the makeup. When you ever see a girl with adding fucking cheekbones, it's like, look, bitch, you're a woman. You have the cheekbones already.
But
you
it
don't
was-
have to put on extra cheekbones. There's a transsexual look.
But the story
Oh,
underneath
that's the
that,
one?
that's the one.
that
and
definitely looks like a tranny.
a tranny, and the story underneath that story
Transsexual.
that I didn't understand why there wasn't more made of it is when you listen to her talk in interviews, she had a tranny voice.
Well, she kind of disappeared too.
Transsexual.
Right? She went
Yeah.
away, and is Donald Sterling still alive?
He's still alive.
That's a few
They
years
sold
ago
the game.
now.
They sold the team. His wife got rid of that bitch because his wife didn't bounce after that.
Right. Oh, really?
Well, his wife came back. Yeah, they got back together.
Oh, they're still together.
Now, getting back to shit and piss. We got sidetracked. There was a movie, I forget the title of it, but one of these artsy films where Nicole Kidman actually pisses on a guy.
Oh, was that
Was that Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Eyes Wide Shut. It was another movie. They're on the beach, and she's supposed to piss on him, and the director said, no, I want you to really piss on him. And I remember when I was thinking about it, I thought, getting pissed on is disgusting, but, it is Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, I would take that piss.
Yeah. So,
And she actually does it in the film?
yeah, and when
She's
you
amazing.
watch the film... they might as well have poured like apple juice on the guy's back because
Zac
you don't
Efron.
see it come out of her, but they made her do it.
And it was Zac Efron, like Sherrod just said.
Wow.
That was
I
like...
don't- was
I
it a
never saw
movie?
this.
It was The Paperboy. Anyone see that movie?
No.
Man.
That's like the movie Backdraft. Is it Billy Baldwin in Backdraft?
Yeah.
The urban legend was that Billy Baldwin and whoever he was hooking up with in that movie are actually fucking in that
In the
movie.
scene.
In the scene, yeah. That they're actually fucking in that
Oh,
scene.
I believe
there's
that.
been a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Where couples are like any famous
Like
Well,
scenes.
the famous one that they say were really fucking was in Don't Look Now with Donald Sutherland and what's her name, the English actress, very pretty, Heaven Can Wait. And,
with Warren Beatty.
yeah, she was going out with Warren Beatty.
And they're actually fucking in the scene.
Yeah, that's the belief.
That
That's
Donald
true.
Sutherland is a freak, too.
Oh, yeah.
He is an old school, long fingered freak. That's why I respect
That's
him.
another thing that comes out of Gilbert's podcast is he's such a movie buff that he knows all these
I love when he talks
stories.
about the old timers.
Yeah, the old time
Yeah.
movies.
Those are my favorite episodes, Gilbert.
What other sex scenes were rumored to have been actually happening?
Okay.
Was it Julie Christie?
Julie Christie.
I had to look it up.
With
Don't
Donald
Look
Sutherland.
Now, they say that Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie were actually fucking.
This is 70s, in the 70s when he shot that?
Yeah.
I think we could see the scene.
I got it.
Yeah, let's check this out. Can you find it there?
What?
Yeah, I think I might have it. We're looking it up right now.
Is coming up, which means it's
Hey, all
commercials.
right, here we go. A little bit of commercial for
Take
you.
a look, see if you can find that. Donald Sutherland.
Only need the end.
And what was the other one you were saying?
Julie
Oh,
Christie.
the other one. This I've only heard from one person. But that's good enough to make it.
O.J. Simpson
It's fine. It was one person, so maybe this didn't happen, but it's so great that in Monsters Ball, Billy, she doesn't thank Billy Bob Thornton when she got the award. Right. And this guy says the reason
I heard about
I've heard this too. I've heard this too.
Yeah.
I've never heard. Let's
that
go.
he was supposed to pretend to fuck her, but he actually did hold her down, and he actually, according to legend, actually raped her.
Penetrated her.
That's what I heard. And she got raped for the Oscar, because that's what you won an Oscar for.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, for the Oscar.
That was the word.
For the
Billy Bob
Oscar.
Thornton could fuck me.
You know, got a conversation piece for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
really?
a great
I don't
urban
think
legend
Yeah,
story.
I've never heard that one.
If you could get an Oscar out of it, all right.
I mean, I got fucked and then get Oscars out of it.
Also in Fort Fairlane. It didn't even make the cut, but Dice tapped my ass.
What about Home Alone? What about
Boy, he was tight. Macaulay Culkin.
Hey, we got a real question coming in for Gilbert. A lot of phone calls, but I don't think we're going to take a lot today. But let's say hi to Joe in Philly. We got Gilbert Gottfried, who's going to be at Caroline's December 23rd and 24th, next Friday and Saturday. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Gilbert, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey, just a thing for you, bud. If you're looking for any more work, I'm thinking the next Joker's got your name written all over it.
Have you ever been offered the Joker?
No,
I
I've
could see
never
that.
gotten offered
That's
that.
a great
I
idea.
could see that.
Yeah.
I could absolutely
No
see
issue. Yeah, that laugh head says I have no issue blowing up a hospital full of children at all.
That's actually a great idea.
Speaking of the
An animated Joker?
Oh, that'd be great.
I think
Right?
live, I think a real...
in the cartoon,
Live action.
I've done Monsieur Spicklick for this. But, here, and this brings me back to my podcast, Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing
Please.
Colossal Podcast, which I must have told the story on at least every other show. And speaking of the Joker, Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be a Latin lover, but he was gay in real life.
Right.
Okay.
And what he was into, according to legend,
Here we go.
was he would surround himself with these boy toys, and he'd pull down his pants and underwear, and whether standing on the floor or ankle deep in warm water, I heard recently, he would instruct these boy toys to fling orange wedges at his naked ass.
Come on.
What?
So when do you wake up and say, hey, you know how would get me hard?
How do you figure that one out?
Maybe you're deficient in vitamin C.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah, he never caught colds.
You really heard that one.
Yes.
Man.
They threw orange pills at his naked ass?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I can get off to that.
You're intrigued, are you?
The warm water around the ankles, I'm like, I'd never try that.
It reminds me of one of Cesar Romero's favorite jokes. How do you make a gay man scream twice? You fuck his ass, then you wipe your dick on his carpet. Yes. Sure.
One of my radio guys
Another commercial.
is calling me. Shit. BJ Shea from Seattle. You've done his show.
Of course, that's where I got my start 23 years ago.
He doesn't know I'm on the radio right now. He's in the same business
Thanks
as me.
a lot, BJ.
Three fags are in a hot tub. All of a sudden, a blob of semen floats to the top. One fag turns to the other two and goes, okay, who farted? Sure!
That'll do.
You know, they say anal sex is for assholes. Sure. Did you have another call with Gilbert? Are they still there?
Actually, I do want to take this call. We're late for a break, so we got to go into plugs in a second. But let's say hi to David in Ohio. David, go ahead.
Hey, Opie, what's up?
Hey, man.
Was just calling. You guys were talking about that scene in Monsters Ball. I forget where I saw it. It might have been on like this site Egotastic or something.
Okay.
But they were saying somebody was looking at that scene and I guess there's a reflection shot somewhere in there where you can see Billy Bob's balls under Halle Berry's ass.
Oh, we gotta take a look at that.
See, now I can't blame him.
We're going to search that out now during the break.
Uncut scene in Monster.
We're looking. Put Billy Bob Thornton and balls in the Google search.
Scene Goblin.
We'll take a look at that there, David. Thank you, buddy.
Wow.
Craig Gass in studio all week. What do you got going on, Craig?
Craigie.
If you want to see more, please go to Kirkland, Washington, the Kirkland Performance Center on January 20th, and in Houston, Texas on Super Bowl weekend. All the information is at getgas.com with 2 S's. Sure.
And I know Gilbert's going to be at Caroline's next Friday and Saturday, December 23rd and 24th. And the podcast.
My podcast is Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast.
Sure.
And I appear in a documentary called Life Animated.
Ooh.
What is that about?
It had to be. I found out about it in the newspaper. I mean, it was.
You had no idea you were in the documentary?
Well, later on, I got in touch with him, and I wound up in it. But it was this guy. He has an autistic son.
Oh, I know the story. Go ahead.
And he, when he was little, the son was slipping deeper and deeper into autism, where they couldn't speak to each other.
Right.
But he would watch Disney cartoons all day long. So the father put on a puppet of my character, Iago the parrot, and he snuck up on the son and started imitating my voice and saying, how do you feel? And the son turned to the parrot like he knew him for years and said, I don't feel happy. I have no friends.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So that's in Life Animated. It's really powerful documentary.
Look at that.
Wow.
Gilbert's got a soft side.
Wow. Gilbert just showed a little
What the
emotion
fuck just
there.
happened?
I don't know what's going on today.
Gilbert's got a soft side. It's called his dick. Sure.
It lasted 1 second.
What?
We got 1 second out of Gilbert.
Gilbert's got a hard side. It's when you try to borrow $1 from him. Sure.
Terrible what happened to that kid. What did the Mexican say to the house that fell on him? Get off me, Holmes!
Sure! Sherrod, where are you going to be, buddy?
Wait, I said to my Mexican friend, let's split a cab. He said, okay, you take the engine, I'll take the hubcaps. Sure!
Oh, shit. And fire.
Sure.
All right, race wars this week. Oh, tonight. We got race wars today. It'll be out tomorrow.
We're going to Chaz's restaurant.
Shut up. Yeah,
That's not a real thing. We're going.
Yeah, I'll come after.
All right. You got the podcast tonight.
Yeah, we got the podcast tonight. Don't forget the first date on the Race Wars Tour, January 18th, DC Improv, the inauguration weekend.
Wow, that'll be awesome.
It's going to be huge. And then I'm going to be back Poughkeepsie on the 28th.
You and Metzger are both doing the shows, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you stop a bunch of black guys from raping a girl?
I smell basketball.
Yes! Sure!
Opie Radio is back.
Oh, we're back with Craig Gass for the week, by the way.
Wow.
And Gilbert Gottfried with his coat on. I thought we were having fun, Gilbert. What happened?
Sure.
What happened?
Sure.
This has been the weirdest. This has been the weirdest show. People are just walking in, leaving.
I love that in the middle of Chaz Palminteri's appearance, that Sherrod just kind of walks up behind him, sits down. Yeah. Gilbert walks up behind him, sits down.
Well, you start the show off with this pretty interesting story, and you didn't even know Chaz was sitting there for the first minute or two.
No,
because he snuck in.
He snuck in. Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's just been sneaking around today.
Yeah, and you have this look on your face like, okay, I guess they're here.
I'm trying to listen to you, but I'm like, holy fuck, Chaz Palminteri is sitting right there again. Anyway, are you leaving us, Gilbert?
I don't know.
You got your coat on? You got your coat on? Sure. No?
Why do Italian men grow mustaches?
Why?
So they can look like their mothers. Sure.
I've just been told that there's a car picking you up at 6. Is that good enough for you?
No, I'm supposed to be...
Oh, you have to be there at 6?
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, that's not going to work for Gilbert. Get on mic. What happened? What happened here?
That I don't know. I'm going to call Roland right now.
Oh, okay. But if we could get you to where you have to be by 6, then you could stay.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
How about a subway? Oh, you don't do subways.
Oh, can you imagine Gilbert getting recognized in the subway?
Yeah.
Do you do subways?
I've been on subways.
I've been on.
Hey, that's the parrot. No, the parrot's on the subway. I love the parrot. What's up, parrot?
I love the subway.
But out of, if they could get me one of those car services where it's not even a legal car service.
Oh, Uber. You hear about Uber?
They're not legal? Yeah. Why are they not legal?
Uber is a little scary. They're you've heard about Uber.
What's going on?
What happened?
You're in the know with these type of things. Yeah, let me get the stories. There's like 3 or 4 Uber stories today. They track you after you leave.
After you get out of the car, they're tracking you?
Yes, and they're collecting all your data.
Oh.
Holy fuck.
And sure. With that, we're trying to get Gilbert Gottfried an Uber. I'm trying to find the story so I got all my facts straight here, but
well, for a while it's like this date rapey thing that's going on where drivers are attacking.
I heard a couple stories.
I think they're also
wait. Sherrod looks like he's got a good one. Let's hear
There's only a couple. I heard maybe 2 or 3 stories that happened across the country. Like
people you know?
No. There's drivers touching people, or being too, aggressive just verbally.
Yeah,
but not like no more than like yellow cabs.
In one of the car service commercials, they say, you'll be safe with us, and they show what's supposed to be another car service, and the guy is like rubs his hand on the girl's back
in the commercial.
In the commercial.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They selling. You won't get raped with us.
Whoa.
It's in the commercials now. Yeah.
But I think Uber is also saying you can't have sex in their cars anymore, too. I think that's one of the stories.
Oh, because people were fucking in the cars?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got these guys prepare me for this radio show, but look at all these stories I got.
They were fucking in the car.
That's like a great Taxi Cab Confessions episode I saw. It was this couple just started fucking in the back seat.
That's always great.
It was actually really hot. But it's like at the Comedy Store, out in front of the Comedy Store, you always see Ubers pulling up, and there are hot drunk girls opening the back of their back door of the cars and going, "Hey, are you my driver?" Yeah. And that's scary. A predator's dream.
Yeah, that's why you got to say what's the name on the account. You got to be, you got to do your due diligence.
These girls are hammered. They're walking out of the Comedy Store and just jumping in a cab or jumping in a car, some random guy's car, and there's always cars in front of the Comedy Store all night long pulling up, and people are just jumping in.
I did hear one story of somebody pretended they were an Uber driver for a girl who got in, and then they sexually assaulted her. I didn't hear that.
Wow.
But that's why you got to make sure that it's your Uber driver. Right. Because after that, then you're safe. Because you got his name, his car,
you got the license number, the license. Yeah.
With a regular cab, you don't have any of that.
Right.
All right, I got 3 Uber stories.
All right.
Uber's tracking system is creeping out customers. The rideshare company has updated its app to track passenger locations for 5 minutes after rides have ended. Why?
What is their purpose?
A move that the company claims is for safety, but that some users feel it is too intrusive. We do this to improve pickups, drop-offs, customer service, and to enhance safety.
Yeah, I don't need you to know that I'm going into the rub and tug spot. Fucking Uber, mind your business. Lyft don't want to know. Git don't want to know.
They're trying to say that collecting this data from when the rider requests a trip until 5 minutes after the trip has finished with help with ETAs, pickups, efficiency on Uber pool, and passenger safety.
But here's the thing. Even after your Uber driver drops you off and you try to say you left something in the car and you try to call that number back, you can't get back to that driver.
If you left something in the car, you can't
because
get back?
they automatically cut it off then.
Really?
I didn't know.
So that access is not, because it all goes through one Uber number.
Right.
So you don't really have the Uber driver's number. You have the access
well, that's
number.
fucked up if you left your phone or something.
But I guess you got to call the company itself and say, hey, they picked me up here and I left something in there, and they'll contact the driver.
They'll figure it out.
I would
Because
imagine
some people try to harass the drivers after they get out the car. That's why you can't call them after you get out.
I would imagine that when Gilbert is in the back of a cab or an Uber, that he's dying to not get recognized. Because when do you pretend that you're not Gilbert? When people say, "Are you Gilbert?" Do you ever say, "No, that's not me"?
No, you don't say that because something free can come out of it.
Or do you have a fake voice you use so they don't recognize you?
Yeah. Do you wear hats? Do you wear like a hat to kind of hide
I have a Gentile voice.
Will you sit down and take your coat off? He put his coat on.
He put his coat on. He's ready, and he's got his headphones off. He's just halfway out the door.
He's already out.
Uber reminds its passengers don't have sex in the car, so that came out. And then they're also
that affects grade.
Just to let Gilbert know, there is a car on the way, right? We have a car. Right,
I think we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, so they're getting it figured out.
We got a car for.
Oh, we got Paul.
Paul ain't got no answer.
Paul's figuring it out.
What's the 1 second?
Got to fix his mic.
I was going to fix the mic.
Well, how about you take his coat off?
Now, what is this story? Santa lying about a child?
Oh, Gilbert,
Gilbert, you're going to want to sit down for this.
And by the way,
this had us almost teary-eyed yesterday.
What?
And now it's coming out that it might be fake, right?
Yeah, it's easy to say, well, I had a feeling, but I really did. There was a moment when this Santa Claus, who had a child die in his arms, when he started really over-saturating the softness of the story. I don't know how to articulate that, but there's a moment where he's over-explaining what's about to happen that I went, man, it almost feels fake.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of sounds too good to be true.
All right, so tell me if you see where the moment...
How is he that lucky that a kid dies in his arms?
Yeah.
Did you hear the audio of this guy explaining it?
No.
Oh, it was brutal yesterday.
Gilbert, put on your headphones so you can hear this.
Yeah.
No,
we're trying to. We got to get the audio really fast, then we'll have the update.
You know where is this? Where's the story?
I forgot where it was out of.
Who's questioning the story?
I just saw a tweet right before the show from a news agency.
Okay.
Let's play the interview first of all. Terminally ill 5-year-old boy dies in Santa's arms. If you were listening yesterday, we went through his audio and there weren't many jokes.
I'll test that theory.
It was tough
because we could have used a joke or two yesterday.
Yeah. Well, the story itself is already tough. Then when you hear this guy telling the story, but there's a moment he seems to be over-explaining how sensitive this moment is.
All right, we're just waiting for the commercial to play, and we'll be on it.
You can feel this weird thing that he's going out of his way to make it a really sensitive story.
More sappy, trying to over-sappy a 5-year-old mind.
Listen to this.
Here we go.
The bed with him and sat down with my back towards the windows, And all he can do is, you have to start up that jolly voice, that kind of stuff, Since, what's this I hear you're going to be missing Christmas this year? Yeah, you tell me I'm dying. Really? Well, you're not going to miss Christmas. Y'all's already had your present already made. We knew you wanted this for a long time. And he's like, really? Yeah, sure. And I got it right here for you. And brought it up to him, and he could barely unwrap it, So I helped him. And he saw the Paw Patrols, and that put a grin on his face, and he kind of laid back in the pillow. And he just kind of looked at me and says, no. He says, he told me I'm dying. I says, he just kind of looked like he had that look on his face, like he wasn't really grasping it, And I'm like, can you do me a favor? And he goes, sure. So he was just like that, sure, that kind of thing. He says, when you get up those pearly gates, you just tell him you're Santa's #1 elf. You're like, I am?
Choking up.
Sure are.
Spit it out, White Santa.
I'm sure they'll let you right in. He goes, they will? I said, I know it. So he just came up and gave me a big hug.
Give me a big hug.
I had hold of me. He just kind of looked up at me and he says, Santa, can you help me? And that's when he passed. I just felt him go limp. I didn't know if he passed out or me. Then I looked at him. He was all sucked in. And I kind of looked back to the window. And that's when the mother started yelling and screaming. No, not yet. So they came running in. I handed their son. I took off running. Literally. Falling just like I have now. I'm sorry.
It's balling. Space is getting redder. His mustache getting twirlier. He like fucking if Santa fucked Raleigh fingers. Remember Raleigh fingers?
Of course. Of course.
Wow. So what's the tell where it's fake? I don't believe that guy can run, first of all.
It's the, I don't know, there was something about the way he said, the kid, he did this thing, just like this. He did this thing where he did, just like this, where he, I don't know, there's something about the way he described it.
I think he did that for the parents, too, though.
Yeah.
I think he added a little extra something for the parents, but I think it's true.
I heard it for the second time. I don't see it seems very believable still. So what's the update? Can you find that? It was, I think, we're trying to find the update now.
Yeah.
Certainly kills the whole mood.
Well,
you know the part that I was suspicious
Merry
of?
Christmas.
It is a good way to go out,
yes,
though, as a sick kid.
I was suspicious when the Santa said, and the kid died in my arms. Sure!
But you know what Santa loved is this joke. How do you know if a Chinaman robbed your house? Well, your homework is done, your computer is upgraded, and 2 hours later, he's still trying to back out of your driveway. Sure! 'Cause he's a Chinaman! Sure!
Breaking news, Gilbert. Your car is going to be here. They're going to call you when it's here. Is that good?
This is the best news I've heard. So I can get the fuck out of here? Sure!
All right, so here we go. Do you believe in this Santa Claus? Perhaps the most
Caroline's 23rd and 24th.
Right.
Gilbert Gottfried's amazing colossal podcast. And try to see Life Animated if you got a chance. Sure. And, sure!
Oh, my God. Perhaps the most heartwarming viral story of the Christmas season can't be verified.
Did you hear about the blind hooker? You had to hand it to her.
Wait, he's leaving now?
He's killing. You gotta leave with a big laugh.
They're gonna call you when the car's here, Gilbert.
What's in that bag, Gilbert? What are you carrying around in that big ass bag?
That looks like a real heavy bag.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Oh, what's in your bag?
It's insane.
What's in there?
Gwyneth Paltrow's head?
Nice. Real nice. So they can't verify it, I guess. It originally published a story of a terminally ill child. We know the story in an article signed by Jack and Sam, who wrote the newspaper. Says the story came to it. All right, I'm trying to find where the problem is. Investigating the story, Snopes says East Tennessee Children's Hospital, and University of Tennessee Medical Center confirmed a visit like the one described did not occur at either facility, and other hospitals have been contacted.
The newspaper's attempt to independently verify the story has proven unsuccessful.
Right.
Oh, so wait.
The site also says it's unclear whether the situation constitutes a privacy violation under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act.
Whoa.
So this guy might have made it up.
Wow.
Whoa. So let me get this straight. A man who dresses as Santa Claus is out of his mind, making up shit. What kind of country do we live in?
That's fucking creepy, though.
Where we can't trust our costume freaks.
And very believable with the tears and everything.
Yeah, his face was red.
I think the whole thing is
works
fake.
once a year.
Wow. Wanted a little attention for himself, did he?
If it does turn out to be a false story, the media is going to fuck him hard. The media is going to hound him.
It's like Stolen Valor with a dead kid.
Oh, yeah. Stolen Valor. Yeah.
You watch those Stolen Valor videos?
Those are amazing.
So good.
Those are amazing.
So
good.
They're going to fuck him like Billy Bob Thornton.
They're going to rape him.
Gilbert, you ever do military tours? You ever do...
No.
Have you always wanted to?
No. But one time I was asked, and I figured, I guess I'll have to if they ask you. But they never called back, and I certainly wasn't going to call them back.
Because I changed my number.
Yes.
Well, you got a Stolen Valor thing, or are you still reading the Uber?
They're also spying on celebrities.
Uber?
Yeah.
Not only celebrities.
Well, yes.
Spying on people?
And ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriends, that type of thing.
Like
Uber employees actually have been able to track people using the app, including high-profile customers. Uber employees helped ex-boyfriends stalk ex-girlfriends and were even able to access trip information for celebrities like Beyonce. Uber's lack of security regarding its customer data was resulting in Uber employees being able to track high-profile politicians, celebrities, and even personal acquaintances of Uber employees, including ex-boyfriends/girlfriends and ex-spouses. Wow. 2 years ago, news broke that Uber could use the God View feature to track customers in real time without their consent, but Uber denied those claims. Whoa. So you can just see where
I have to imagine
where Beyonce's walking around.
I have to imagine Gilbert's worst nightmare is being recognized near his home, and that he doesn't want to go inside his house, but nobody knows where he lives because he's so uncomfortable.
I know exactly where he lives.
Do you?
Exactly.
Well, when
my girlfriend's office used to be in this building.
Why do you say that angrily?
When the
I could kill him at any time if I wanted to.
When the whole Aflac thing was going on,
that little problem.
News crews like this was the biggest story. Yeah,
they were set
up in front of my apartment building.
How crazy is that?
Looking for a quote?
Yeah,
an announcement?
A photo of me coming in or out of.
Did you give them a quote?
Then I had to be extra careful, but it was so. First of all, it was insane because that was the biggest story on the planet.
Yeah.
And but they knew, and they were there all hours of the night and day.
Did they set up their beach chairs? I had beach chairs set up outside my house.
Oh, when everything went down?
For the Sex for Sam thing?
Oh, yeah.
They found where I lived in Huntington, and they camped out across the street. They had shifts. They had beach chairs. They had big sandwiches they were getting for each other. And I actually crawled out a back window, jumped over a fence, and went to the beach for the day while those dummies sat there all day looking for me.
Really?
And then they finally jumped out of the bushes and tried to take a shot. Picture. Oh, yeah. That was back in 2002. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I could relate to this one, Gilbert.
It's nuts. So you don't give them a statement because that's a great way to use your platform to say, I'll talk about it.
I was still hoping that maybe the company would figure shit out so you don't say a fucking word. Right. Oh, I had a lot to say. I wanted to, but...
They camped out.
Then they chased me down the street one day, and my landlord, who lived below us, he jumped in his car and ran block for me so I could get away.
What?
He got all excited. He got all Starsky and Hutch. And he went for it. Driving on the wrong side of the road, he got between me and one of the paparazzi cars and fucking pulled some kind of move where they couldn't get past him, I was gone. I'll never forget that.
It's great when somebody else steps in so the paparazzi can't say it's you doing it.
And then what happens is, all of a sudden they just give up. Because you're not news anymore to that point where
and they need another news.
Like, it was important to get a picture of either me and Ant that first few days.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, one day, I looked out the window. We had always had the shades down, and they were just gone. Wow. And on to the next thing.
Fucking piranhas.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many days they were out there, but it was... I'm sorry. You just made me think of a memory, Gilbert.
Gilbert's thing was so bizarre, though, because it's like, this is who Gilbert's been. It's, there's nothing, there's no, intent to say anything. It's his sense of humor, and he got crucified for it. That was a really weird thing.
I think because the media made a bigger thing out of it than it was. And they ran with it. Yeah, and then they said, we got to do something now.
And then it reaches people that it normally doesn't reach, and those are the people who are reacting, go, he said what? And
then in the news, they reported it as Gottfried's comments and remarks about the tsunami. Because if you say jokes about it, you go, yeah, fuck it, jokes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
And then, of course, Affleck made the most of it, with their, we're shocked. This is against, we love people, and this is hurting children.
They have no problem throwing you under the bus.
Yeah,
man.
so basically, they fired me and hired a guy to imitate my voice for less money, thus bringing closure to a tragedy.
A bunch of guys got calls. I got a call to come in and read. It was a lot of voiceover guys got calls to do Gilbert.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's surreal. The guy whoever's doing it now is doing. Do you know who the guy is that's doing your voice?
Some guy who worked at some radio station, not even on the air talent. I know.
Really? Wow.
Man,
holy shit.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's nutty.
Right.
You got crucified, man. That was really...
Wasn't fair.
Yeah, it was shitty.
Right?
It was really, really shitty.
Were you ever scared with all the heat you were getting?
Oh, it was creepy. Creepy time period.
Wait, what would you get, threatening messages from people?
I learned after a while, don't go on the internet.
Yeah. Because you would see...
They wanted my death, it was really...
It was a witch hunt. Definite witch hunt.
Breaking news.
What's that?
What?
If Gilbert has to run, let him. His car is in gridlock.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. This time of day. We're in Midtown.
But
White House North, right?
But he's not going to just jump on the subway. Gilbert is a car guy.
Yeah.
You picked the wrong time of year to be a car guy.
The subway gets you home in 2 minutes.
2 minutes, Gilbert. You want us to walk you to the subway? He's not.
Let me just see.
It is mad traffic out there.
Yeah.
Let me make a couple of calls.
What a great way to end the broadcast. Just listen to...
Can you walk the 25 blocks, you think?
That's too much. I do have a backpack that weighs... You wouldn't happen to have a wheeler.
He might have one.
I got Lewis. Lewis will walk your stuff for you.
They had one of those wheeler things.
They're a Sirius XM wheelbarrow.
Well, we got Lewis. He can be a wheeler for you.
No, Lewis ain't no damn wheeler. What a black man gonna be the fucking wheeler? Like he's a porter at the fucking train station.
Oh, you noticed that?
I did notice that.
You did,
We'll get you a porter. Don't worry. Porter, Lewis?
Good to see you, Gilbert.
He's leaving with his bowling ball.
He's just walking out.
You got a bowling ball in there?
It's an explosive device.
He's freaked out.
Oh, don't you want to know what's in the bag?
A pressure cooker.
Can we? What's in the bag?
Gilbert, what?
Here, go ask him what's in the bag.
It's just probably full of pennies or something.
See, Gilbert has to be about 20...
Gilbert, do you mind if we ask you one more question? 20
blocks away. He doesn't have a car. What's in the bag? That is really heavy.
I know, it's insane.
What is in there?
Insane. Yeah.
What's in there?
Trinkets and shit.
He left it outside.
It was that child that Santa Claus was holding. I figured I could make some money.
Do you carry books in there?
Oh, I got crap in there.
He won't tell us.
No, it's probably like an attic. He got like stuff that you put in the attic, but he's carrying it around with him.
I would say that backpack weighs 30 pounds.
It looks
easily.
heavy. It looks heavy.
It looks like it's a bowling ball or something.
It's strained. When you see a bag that's strained from the top, it is strained.
And now he's just dragging it down the hall and
It's like-
leaving.
I'm going to guess.
Is he pissed off?
No.
I'm going to guess
He'll be all right.
Newspapers, several days old.
Right.
Newspapers.
I think he's got like
that heavy.
No. But I'm just trying to guess. Like I don't know what would be the heavy part of it, but I
he's
know
got weird shit in there, like ball bearings, probably like C batteries, a bunch of C batteries, like old man shit.
Yeah. Batteries.
He's got a painting of himself that won't age, that ages instead of him aging.
he's got maybe a Walkman with several extra batteries.
Of course he does.
Yeah, like a Walkman with several extra batteries.
Extra batteries.
I bet there's shit on there with logos from radio stations.
But he won't tell us.
He won't tell us. That was weird. That was a genuine, yes, that's all, goodbye. Yeah. And he just walked out.
And he left it outside, too.
He left it outside. When we started, and the door was open,
Maybe
and
that's
you
'cause
said...
he likes us.
The door was open. The door was open. Opie says, Gilbert, what's in the bag? He immediately put it down the ground outside the door and said, oh, it's just...
Oh, my God, what's in the bag?
I can only imagine.
What's in the bag?
It's whatever it is, it's psychotic.
I guarantee it's something that would freak you out.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because he's clearly uncomfortable talking about it.
Wow. Let's tackle him and grab his bag.
I'm scared to see what's in it.
I kind of am, too.
I don't want to see that shit.
I'm kind of a little scared.
I don't know.
It might break your heart.
He's not happy.
It might break your heart.
He's not going to walk. He's
like
not
a
gonna go on the
pitch,
subway.
it would be like a pitch tent, like at the end of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He lives on the street. He lives on the street.
Like a big gold nugget in there.
I don't know.
He doesn't say goodbye formally. When he's done, he's done. I love the guy.
He was really done when you asked him what was in the bag.
Yeah,
that was.
And you wouldn't let go of that either.
I mean, come on, you got to work that shit.
I know you didn't want to show it.
That's the show.
That makes it more interesting. The moment someone says, gets uncomfortable, that's when you want to know.
Right.
I don't know.
And could it be something that's just weird to him?
No.
That would not be weird to us?
No, I think it's something weird to us that wouldn't be weird to him. But he would think that it's weird to us.
I'm starting to think it's illegal.
I hope it is. I hope it is.
When I asked him that story, though, I did hear at Caroline's once, I did hear that Gilbert will stop in and he'll say, and they'll go, oh, and of course, the first question is, do you want to go up?
Right.
Do you want to do some time? No, I was just hungry. I'd like some food. And they go, oh, sure. And he'll order so much food, they'll go, oh, you sure? And he'll go, yeah, can you put it in a to-go box?
Yeah.
And then they'll prepare it,
yeah.
and then he'll go, okay, I guess I'll go home. And then he just disappears.
Yeah.
He knows he can get the free food, and he'll take it home.
Yeah, he is.
I respect that.
He's very unique, as we all know.
A lot of radio buddies will say that when Gilbert comes in, they'll have a great time with Gilbert on the air, and as soon as the interview ends, they'll say, thanks for coming in. He'll go, sure. So where's the prize closet? And one station in Kansas City said, oh, well, all we have right now is WWF VHS box sets. And he'll go,
I'll take them.
Okay. And he'll take it. He'll take them.
Okay.
Sure.
Maybe he was just collecting things on the way over here.
Maybe he's on a scavenger hunt. That's his whole life.
You've been in his house?
I haven't been in it, but I've been in the building, yeah.
Yeah. He's not a hoarder, is he?
No, he got a great place. Like, that building is fucking butter.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, like, very rich people that
But his wife is tight on him. His wife is in charge of that shit.
Right, yeah, because there's a lot of, not a lot, but certainly a bunch of rich people that just turn their really nice places into
hoarding
messes. Yeah, hoarding homes.
Yeah, I've never been to his place. He's always been nice to me, though. Him and I were both mentioned in an article as being banned from a radio show. And I said to him, we had a conversation about it, and I said, well, this is my understanding, is that the show has changed a lot, and there's a directive on the best ofs that they can't play anything that has the N-word or faggot.
I'm out.
Or
retard.
And Gilbert said, oh, nigger and faggot and they'll never have me on again. So.
But you guys, I mean, I don't need to get into the shit, but You and Gilbert were great for that show.
Yeah, Gilbert
What show is this? What are we talking
Howard.
about?
Yeah, Gilbert's is. I don't know if he's officially banned, but he's certainly not on it anymore.
There was an article that was written that said that we were banned. Me, Lisa, and Gilbert.
Lisa Lampanelli?
Yeah, and I actually got shit on twice in the article because they mentioned my name as being one of the people that's been banned from the show, and then they put Lisa and Gilbert's name in bold print as celebrities, but not mine. And I was like, oh man, come on! Which was hilarious. It was hilarious to get shit on twice in the article. But yeah, Gilbert is one of the best radio guests.
Yes.
And he's just...
What is the... I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I really am. This time I'm not anyway. What's the reason behind that? Because where I sit, this is a pain in the ass every day to get it together and find fun, creative, funny people and content. And just to throw like a Gilbert away and a Craig Gass and a Lisa Lampanelli, that guys that you could call on and know they're just going to kill every time. Well, what's the reasoning?
I don't know, but you know what? I have been told that I
don't think you did anything bad to the guy.
No. In fact, the last two times I tried to get on, Gary just said,
okay, so here's the thing. It's not a no. It's just no for now. It's just a no for now because it's just, we're just kind of a different show right now. So, it's fucking funny, man.
So good.
So, but call us back, the next time you want to come on and we'll figure something out.
So, and that was the last two times I tried to get on. It's been, I think, maybe 3 years since the last time I tried to get on.
Wow.
So, but I'm trying to get on. I haven't tried to get on in 3 years.
But see, the guy has a huge audience, so I don't get it. I mean, I can see if, the ratings are dipping or your audience is dipping, you want to try something new maybe. But he was right on.
Yeah,
so he just wants to go cleaner, I guess. I think, truly, believe it or not, I haven't heard his show in years, not even for a few minutes. So I'm in the dark with this whole thing.
I still listen to him all the time, and it's a great show. It's just a different show. It's just a different kind of show.
What is it though?
It's more interviews, really great interviews,
which he's great at.
Yeah,
we all know that.
And he's and it's a different kind of show.
What's wrong with this other stuff?
I don't know.
Too mean-spirited?
You know what? I honestly, I don't know. I know what I was told, that it's a different kind of show, and you can see it. You can see the evidence. I remember him even saying, he said, we got Amy Schumer coming in, but it's only because she's in a movie. We're not letting her hang out like we used to let comedians hang out. So, it's just a different kind of show, man. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So that's, So I didn't know. It was like, all right, that's the show. And I get it. And that's cool. I'm not, it's like, but he did say, the door's not closed. You can come back in. So it's just another time when I want something to promote, I'll do it.
I mean, I checked my Twitter on the way to the bathroom, and they're saying, you and Gilbert going back and forth with the Gilbert stuff is just,
that was so much fun.
Famous, I'm driving off the road.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I don't know why you would just get rid of that as a radio show.
And Gilbert,
lucky for me, because a lot of you guys couldn't do this show until you were, I'm not saying you personally, until you were banned from the other show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case with you.
Yeah.
But certainly, Artie wasn't going to just come in here.
Right.
And now I get, I think Artie's in tomorrow. I never had Gilbert on until Howard said, we're done.
Yeah.
So
weird.
And Gilbert is just such a great guy to push the envelope, even when it's being pushed as far as it can go. He'll push it even further out. And he's just always been just a great, great guest. He's just, I love him. Yeah. I love him. Well, I don't know how to get close to him. Not that I'm trying to, but I always find I have to go at a different rhythm when I'm around him.
I feel like you're getting somewhere with the guy, and then like you said, we left after that second break. It was just a killer. Yeah, we all go to the bathroom. We come in here, and I'm thinking we're just going to continue.
And he's got his jacket on.
And he's got his jacket on. And I'm like, where are you going?
He's like that, though. That's just how he is.
And then he's not even staring at anyone anymore. He's not focused. He just wants the fuck out of here.
I ran to the bathroom.
What the fuck?
I didn't hear Opie say, "I'll see you later." I didn't hear Opie say goodbye to him. So when I came back from the bathroom, I saw him in the hallway, and I said, he had his jacket on. And I go, "Oh, are you gone?" He goes, "Why? Is something else happening?" And I said, I just thought, and I was like, "Oh, okay. If I guess you and Opie have a thing, figured out between you that you're leaving." And
man, people just hang. You saw it for yourself. People have just been coming and going today. But I mean, when you do a radio show like this, and if you have a killer segment and you go to commercials, you can't wait to get back on the radio to continue that show.
Right.
I just didn't want to.
He was not about it. He had his coat on, and he was focused on the next thing he had to do today.
There's no cold cuts in here I can take. I'm out.
Gilbert Gottfried
cuts?
is walking in Midtown somewhere right now with a heavy bag.
Really heavy bag.
Is there any chance? I don't think this is part of his personality that he left with anything from the building.
Probably. Stapler or something. Yeah.
Is someone going to come in tomorrow and go, what happened to the laptop that was in the corner?
And remember earlier he said that they always check him at the airport?
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Look at what you're walking around with.
Fucking backpack around. Of course they're going to check.
Good point.
So peculiar.
Good.
And you've known him forever, right?
For years,
Sherrod? From the cellar and all. Yeah.
He's a great guy, man. He's a good hang. He's just different.
I just want to have like one of those breakthroughs with him where like there's an acknowledgement that.
But Gilbert's. Wait a minute.
We have that.
You need some reassurance.
Right. But wait a minute, Sherrod, when you say that he's a comic that you'll see hanging in a club, like he's not a guy who will just drop in and do sets anymore, right?
Yeah, he does that.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He didn't do it for a long time.
Okay.
And then he started back maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like walking into the city. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing about doing stand-up is when somebody who you love shows up and you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. That happened a couple weeks ago at the Comedy Store. Chris Rock showed up and I had a set at midnight. Chris Rock's in there at 11:30 and I was like, oh yeah, until one of the managers came up and said, Craig, Chris Rock. And I go, I know, this is awesome. And he goes, when he gets done, he's bringing you up. And I go, oh no. No, nobody wants that. Nobody.
Why?
Because it's like, then you have to readjust how you're going to start out your set.
No, I don't.
I do because
I'm hitting hard.
If I
give it up for my opener.
Yeah. I have to go.
I never heard of him, but y'all seem to like him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's a great. No, I have
Keep
to.
it moving.
But my strategy is to go up and acknowledge, like, hey, I don't even want to be here for this. I mean, that's like walking into a small rock club and like the Rolling Stones show up and start doing a couple songs and they go, all right, you guys want some more? Yeah, all right, please welcome Corey Feldman. What? Like,
don't think of yourself as Corey Feldman, first of all.
Right. Well, I get that, but
they can be the Stones all they want. Fuck the Stones.
Right.
I think you acknowledge it, though, obviously. Like
I do acknowledge it.
Those old women, they were great.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of know Chris Rock. Girls? You know Chris Rock a little better than Craig Gass.
Yeah,
Sherrod's the same thing to Chappelle. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Okay.
I follow everybody at the cellar. That was my thing. Everybody that bounce after if you get bumped by a celebrity, people be like this, I'm just going to bounce.
Right.
I always stayed.
I do like the challenge. I do like the challenge of it, but my approach is an apology because I think that's just funny.
No.
I think it's funny to apologize and say, listen, I don't even want to, like, I'd rather watch him continue on for another 2 hours. And you can see people in the room will just, no matter who follows a guy like Chris Rock, people are going to get up and just walk out of the room to try to meet him.
Try to meet him or try to make a phone call and say, guess what?
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah. You just move on.
I go
with your
right
shit.
in.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I want to start. I want to play that Alan Thicke thing to end the show. Do we still have time, Paul, to do the Florentine thing? If we get right into it? I think it's like 3 minutes.
He's shaking his head no.
It's on the YouTube page there, Louis, if you want to find it. How about we get plugs in and maybe play this thing?
Can we edit down just Gilbert one-liners?
Oh, fuck
like that.
We do a full video.
Yeah, a video.
I know. Well,
I think the video of just Gilbert doing the impression of me doing the impression of him.
Forth going.
Yeah,
we're going to be right on it. Paul will be right on it after the show.
Some of the most fun I've had.
Paul does a great job with a lot of these videos.
In a long time.
I was dueling fucking.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just put Alan Thicke in the keep Opie Radio there. Opie Radio's the YouTube channel. Then put Alan Thicke, and then that'll pop up. It's Florentine. All right, we're going to play this out. We have time. So, Sherrod Small, he's got Race Wars tonight.
Yeah, we're doing it tonight. It'll be out tomorrow. Race Wars on Patreon.com/RaceWars and iTunes and SoundCloud.
Right.
And the first tour date is January 18th at the DC Improv. Me and Kurt Metzger, Race Wars tour live at the inaugural. And then I'll be in Poughkeepsie on January 18th.
And the voice is
January 28th.
And the voice is getting there.
Yeah, it's getting back.
You're almost there.
I'm almost back.
I think another week and you'll be back.
Yeah.
Craig Gass will definitely be here tomorrow and Friday. The whole week he's doing radio with me, and it's been a lot of fun so far. Where are you going to be, Craig?
You know what I want to say is just I've been clean now for 12 years as of today, and I only say this once a year. If you have a problem, and this only reaches people who know they have a problem, but if you have a problem, you have to love yourself enough to do something about it. Drugs suck and addiction sucks, and if you have a problem, if you need help, get help.
Wow, congrats on 12 years.
There you go.
All right, we leave you with Alan Thicke. We just interviewed him, September 12, 2016. There's the date.
Wow.
And Florentine had to leave early. He had to do a audition, and then he was trying to do some plugs, and Alan Thicke just busted his balls. I love this, and it was very sad to hear about the passing of Alan Thicke. We loved having him in here. So we'll play this out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
And pickle juice. I have pickled teeth.
Florentine's got to go. You can't leave.
He's got an audition. Got an audition.
That's it?
Alan Thicke knows the importance of an audition.
I have an audition.
Jim's got an audition.
So I have to,
yeah, he's going to...
And this is for what?
It's for a TBS show, play a lawyer. So I gotta go.
Excellent. I can negotiate that for you.
Hey, take him with you. Exactly. Show up with Alan Thicke. You're going to get the fucking
the
part.
jacket?
I would love to.
Can I loan you my hair? I got some teeth in a jar over here. You might like.
I really need your acting chops, is what I need, because I have none.
All right. Very casual. It's the t-shirt. The t-shirt lawyer look. I think you've nailed it.
You need a colorful suit.
Well, it's either that or I was going to wear an AC/DC shirt, but I'm like, I don't know if a lawyer would wear that.
Well, the young clients wouldn't recognize it.
It's a court scene, so I have to look a little professional.
Any pointers, Alan Thicke, for Florentine's
I would say
audition?
just go in and be litigious right off the bat.
He's got to get out of here. Do you mind if he plugs his stuff in front of you, Alan Thicke?
Please.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Where are you going to be, Jim?
Where am I going to be?
House of Comedy in Phoenix, September 21st through the 25th?
Yeah, and then Saratoga Springs.
Upstate.
September 29th to October 1st, New York.
And at Mr. Jim Florentine on the old Twitter. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just, I might get this.
Where do we get our tickets?
Because
Look at that.
You get the upgrade.
All over Florida, too. You're in Boca Raton. You're in Hollywood.
Florida.
Whoa. So you go right from Boca to Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio.
You don't
I got a common itinerary.
I got a 3-day break in between. So
you don't like the routing of his schedule?
No, it's got Snoop Dogg's driver. That's it. Yeah, I'll be right there.
Alan Thicke's doing time.
And then I got Fairview Heights, Illinois after Ohio.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you could Uber that one.
He's on a roll. He's on a roll.
Yes, he is.
Opie Radio is now over for now.
Over? Roger. Over.